And boy, do we have a challenge. We need to save a Thursday night football matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. But I think we are equipped to do it. We got Robert May swinging by in the second quarter. We got some fun pick 'em sweats dialed up. See if we can keep this heater going. If we hit our core entry, we'll give away another $100 to one of you guys out there watching tonight. And of course, we got Steph Miller swinging by to give us the recap from Week 10 waivers, how our high stakes teams are doing. It's the Shipcast with Pete, Ben, and Pat. Let's go.
Pat Fryer Helmo.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Handjob.
Fix your site.
Jamar Alpha Play Chase.
Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally this boys. You're right.
All right. We are live. As that cold open was finishing, I was just envisioning, imagine if we were if we had done a shipcast on that for that Jets game the other night.
God, dude,
that
we should have. Brittany was so mad. She has Bryce Hall on our fantasy football team. Like,
where does she get her ideas?
Yeah, where does she get her ideas exactly? But she was just watching Zach Wilson, and she's just like, "This is so bad. Like, this is a professional football game. Like, what is happening?" And it just really made me love her. To be honest, I was so happy how upset she was.
Sean and I had a bunch of really close sweats with these guys that we talked a little bit about on Bananas, and I wrote about on Tuesday in my introduction to Stealing Signals that we had some close losses. I hadn't checked our whole portfolio when I wrote that I had 4 games decided by 10 points or less where I had Bryce Hall or Garrett Wilson. Turns out I had 7 losses where I had either Garrett Wilson or Bryce Hall and lost by 10 or fewer points. Only one with you guys, but 6 other losses, dude.
Yikes.
Oh, no, sorry, I think 2 with you guys. The Fantasy Pros Championship team we have. Bryce Hall was on that team and it lost by like 5 points.
I rarely watch full island games that aren't the Shipcast, and but for some reason I stuck that one out. I don't know. I had built some pick'em entries. I had some showdown lineups, so I watched it all out, and it is so frustrating. And I know I'm speaking to the choir to everyone here, but how electric Bryce Hall and Garrett Wilson look with the ball in their hands. They play at a different speed than ever. Like Bryce's spin moves and how silky he is.
So silky.
And it's you're just like, holy shit. This is being so wasted.
He leans forward when he runs. Yeah. He's like a raptor in Jurassic Park. Like, this dude is gaming on everyone at all times. Like, I'm afraid for the defenders when he's running. Like, he's hunting them.
Well, it's crazy. Like, he gets up to speed so quickly, I think, is what's and to be able to do the spin moves and stuff and then like get back up to speed, that's what's so fun about him. But yeah it's just Zach Wilson. I mean, it's like one of those things when I was writing the walkthrough, I was just like, I've run out of things to say. I found some things. To say about Zach. But it's just, it's so consistent. Like every single week by the advanced stuff, he's terrible. Every single week. And you think like, because there was like a period where the discourse about him would shift a lot every week, like, oh, they're, but it's just based on how well the defense played. Like he was fucking shit in every single game this season. It's just so frustrating.
Was the Chiefs game not half decent? That was the one game where it wasn't that good.
I'll pull it. It's like literally
he threw more passes. And so that was the first game where he actually started, and I wrote about this week a little bit, but he started standing in the pocket a little bit more. Because when you go, I went back through everything I wrote about him this year a little bit this week. And when you looked at the beginning of the year when they had Fitzpatrick on the Manning cast, Peyton Manning and Fitzpatrick and those guys, because they're on Monday night when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles.
I know,
and it was one of the first snaps, and they had Wilson the whole game. And they were so mad at him for bailing out of the pocket, but not extending plays. Sean and I were talking about it a little bit today, and he was talking about like comparing it to Sam Howell, how Howell will extend plays. But those guys extend plays laterally and then can take off and run. When Zach Wilson runs, it's a huge U-turn. It's a 20 yards back, and then he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's so annoying.
He runs, he like goes really far back, and then he like after he goes far back, then he starts running still back, but it's like a lower angle, and then he like tries to do a C back and then he whips the ball out of bounds. Like, it's the worst fucking shit.
Or he runs out of bounds at the line of scrimmage, and you're like, that's what you scrambled. You ran 70 yards to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's your scramble. You can't gain 10 yards and get to the first down marker on a scramble at the sideline because you're so deep. But he did in the Chiefs game finally start standing in the pocket. What's so funny about that is then he just started taking sacks like constantly because he has no feel for the pocket. They obviously talked to him about staying in the pocket. First 4 games, 3 or fewer sacks every game. Next 4 or more in every game. He had 8 on Monday night. He's just like, until that strip sack late, like 5 other passes he had, it looked like he was going to get strip sacked. As he goes back to throw, you're like, how do you not feel that guy? Like, that's going to be a turnover. I mean, he just, I
think what happened with that Chiefs game is the narrative ran out of control because Patrick Mahomes also had a bad game and he eclipsed him in like a bunch of those counting stats, right? Didn't he have like more completions, more yards? And so that narrative was like Zach Wilson outdueled Patrick Mahomes. And then that colored everyone's mind of like, maybe Zach Wilson's got it. He just went toe to toe with Mahomes on primetime. And I was like, no, that's not actually what happened.
Well, in terms of EPA per play in week 4, he was nearly 5 times better than he had been in week 2 or week 3 when you compared to the percentiles. But he was 7th percentile in EPA per play in those weeks, jumps to 34th percentile. So I guess like maybe there's like more like jumping around than I said, except like that's the highest he's been all season. So it's all like bottom third or lower. And he just kind of bounces around in the absolute shit zone a little bit. But like
the shit zone. Well, The other interesting thing about the Chiefs was he really did stand in the pocket and deliver more balls. And I think maybe it caught the Chiefs off guard a little bit. But then other teams were like, wait, you're going to stay in the pocket and we can just bring pressure? You have no feel for the pocket. Like, that's what Brandon Staley did. He is a smart defensive coordinator when there's like an easy scheme advantage. And they just like found ways to get pressure and collapse the pocket. And he can't handle that. But he's being coached to stay in there because like they know that he can't turn and run backwards 30 yards. That's not going to work either. So he's standing in there, but then, I mean, once teams figured out, he's going to stand in there and he can't feel any of this pressure, we're going to get pressure on him, and he's just absolutely lost. He's lost.
Yeah.
I also think they're calling plays really silly. Like they have a really low pass rate of expected on first down, but not that low of a pass rate of expected overall, which is, in my opinion, the exact opposite of the way they should be handling things. They should be like whatever cool screen pass or your best passing play you got, call all of those on first down and just really fucking hope you can get to 2nd and 3. Because 2nd and 3 is like a miracle. And then do whatever you want. You run the ball, right? You got an explosive running back. So running the ball twice on a short 2nd down is fine.
That's exactly right. It's the obvious, not obvious passing downs. It's way easy. This has been split and looked at, and they're called obvious and not obvious because when you throw on like 1st and 10 where it's not obvious, the efficiency is much better. The Thielen catch I was laughing at because we talked about whether to play his fantasy points or his receptions. He got negative yardage. So with a half-point PPR, it was like...
Ben was really pushing us to the reception. So that was exactly right. We should have been going there.
I did just pull up our core entry pick 'em tonight. I was waiting until there was a first down in this game to show all of our hires this game. We do have Adam Thielen higher than 6.5 receptions. We got Chuba Hubbard higher than 8.45 points. I know that line closed a little higher, as did the Deontay Foreman one. Our third one, we have higher than 9.55 fantasy points here, but very good start for this drive with Adam Thielen. 2 catches here.
Yeah, we looked at the fantasy points versus the receptions. He's gone over they had a fantasy points line of about like 12.5. He's gone over that in 4 of 8 games. It was the 4 games that he scored TDs in. He's gone over the receptions line, the 6.5 in 6 of 8 games. He's had multiple games where he caught more than 6.5 balls, but because his ADOT's so low and he's not gaining a ton of yards necessarily, he didn't actually get to 12 half PPR fantasy points. So you're like, all right, well, we'll just play the receptions. So far, 2 catches for, I think, like 4 yards. So we're...
Did you see what just happened on that play?
Bryce Young?
Bryce Young just...
Zach Wilson can't do.
He stares down Adam Thielen, who's like not open at all. And he's like, oh, crap, he's not open. And then he runs, and then he looks at Adam Thielen again. He's still not open. So then he just runs to where Adam Thielen was.
Okay, but if Zach Wilson did that with Garrett Wilson, it It would be a monstrous improvement if Zach Wilson could do this with Garrett Wilson.
It would be amazing. Because Garrett
was
Wilson's
one play
probably
that
open,
tilted
right?
the-
So you just run to the open space that Garrett Wilson found first.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many plays where obviously I'm hyper focused on Garrett Wilson, and I'm sure a lot of us are. There's so many plays in the game where it's like, okay, he has one-on-one coverage. You just need to throw the ball up to him because you're taking sacks. But there's one in my mind I remember where there was trips left, and there was kind of a safety over. Garrett was the one receiver on the other side. The safety's kind of shaded to his side. And Zach Wilson drops back and he looks to the trip side. The safety that was shaded to Garrett Wilson's side, right at the snap, dead sprint. They showed the end zone view. Dead sprint across to the trip side. I don't know if you guys remember seeing this replay. But I think that it must have been something that they knew from film, like Staley knew, whatever, that when they show that they have the safety shaded over the one-on-one, that Zach Wilson's going to look to the other side of the field and never be able to work his way back. So they show the safety and then he just sprints. He's just gone out the gate. And
so disrespectful, man, and rightfully disrespectful. But still,
Zach Wilson Bryce Young has to hit that throw. By the way,
a little overthrow there. Zach Wilson stared at the trips the whole play. No one came open and took a sack. It's so. It's like if you could just get back to Garrett Wilson in one-on-one coverage, he has the whole side of the field in one-on-one coverage, and he's one of the. I think Garrett. The most frustrating thing is I think Garrett Wilson is playing incredible. That toe tap play
he had, open score, dude. I believe he's
I think he's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, there's a lot of really good receivers. That's a really bold statement. But one of the things this offseason was the Garrett Wilson versus Chris Olave debate, where Olave had a little bit better per route run stuff, and a lot of people said he should have won the Rookie of the Year. And I was like, doing my semantical nuanced arguments, but I was like, Garrett Wilson's better. Like, if you actually watched, he's a better player. And I'm going to make that same argument this offseason. And Olave hasn't been great, but he might end up with better numbers again this year because Garrett Wilson's dealing with a horrible quarterback situation. But Garrett Wilson is so freaking good. Like, the stuff really that he does, it's just incredible.
Let's take a look at our other 5 legs. So we kept this core for the 2, and then we had a couple little kind of other correlations and plays we'd like. One is a lower here on Tommy Tremble, 9.5 receiving yards to prove we know ball, and Gresh to prove we really know ball. A man I definitely knew existed before today, Frankie Louvu, higher than 8.5 tackles and assists.
Yeah, he's gone over this 3 weeks in a row. He's been in double digits the last 2 weeks. I mean, truth be told, Daigle sent a tweet about this a little bit ago.
This is Daigle sent a tweet.
Oh, no. That's our alpha on this is Daigle.
Yeah. He said he's been all over the field the last few weeks or something.
And it was an anti-Deontay Foreman tweet, which and then we paired it with the over.
We played it with we had talked a couple of weeks ago, and Pat, I knew you liked this when we had Brian Robinson on, where I was like, yeah, because this guy's like, he's good enough to get to the line, but not good enough to break away from the linebackers. So it's probably a game where the linebacker's going to get enough tackles.
I love that. I love
Deontay
running backs who set up the linebackers.
Yeah, he set up the linebackers. They're the perfect amount of explosiveness. So if Luvu's been all over the place making all these tackles in the second level, Deontay Foreman and the heavy run game that we're playing seems to correlate, right?
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. So we have that one, and then the other one was kind of a fun one. Gretsch really wanted to get some DJ Moore hires in here, which we liked in the 5 leg here. We got that in, and then we coupled it with a Darnell Mooney lower. We were actually super in the weeds looking at the RotoViz matchup rater, and the Panthers have been pretty good against the pass, but primarily to guys in the slot. And Darnell Mooney is running the majority of his routes in the slot this year. You get DJ Moore outside where they're a little more beatable. So we kind of like this correlation of Darnell Mooney goes lower and DJ Moore goes higher here.
Yeah, I think that was fun. And we got DJ Moore with that screen catch. I was kind of intrigued by the idea of maybe them trying to get the ball out in the screen game here, because the Panthers actually have a decent pass rush. So that might be one. And we saw that. It's not just like a random thought. Like, we saw that with Bagent when he first came in. He was like nonstop throwing screen passes to DJ Moore. So we know they have that. They went away from that the last few weeks a bit, but this would be a spot where you would want to get the ball out quickly a little bit more. Already seeing like one wide receiver screen is nice.
One of the concerns that I had with Moore this year was the field's the high rate of scrambles and sacks taken and the number of dropbacks that don't actually turn to pass attempts and those things, Moore has been as advertised in the sense of, if one of the stats I threw at you guys was the percentage of like his market share of receiving yards per week. Like he's had some down games where the whole Bears passing game has been down, and they've had several of those games, and some of them have come with Bagent. But Bagent's first start, no air yards at all. He got a little more vertical last week. He had that one pass to Velus Jones where Velus Jones just fell down, and it could have been a long TD. I saw that they made Velus Jones inactive this week. I'm hoping they're going to let the young guy continue to open it up. But Moore tends to get his. He has been a legit number one. They have, I think, every weekend since week one, he's had at least 20% of their receiving yards. And it's like frequently over 35%. I think it was like 5 of the weeks. It's over over a third of their receiving yards have gone to DJ Moore. I don't know that necessarily this is a game where they're going to throw for 300 yards, but if they throw for like 200, this is a low number for a guy that's that dominant of a number one, right? 55 yards is like, it feels a little disrespectful.
In the use, the best thing about DJ Moore is exactly what happened on that screen game. 2 things, right? Manufactured touches near the line of scrimmage and letting him cook after the catch where he's so explosive.
Oh,
so like
Deontay Foreman 5-yard run, Frankie Louvu tackle.
Yes! I thought you were ahead of me. I saw the Foreman run and I was not dialed in to the
I wasn't even thinking who made the tackle, man.
I know. Felt so good. That was sorry.
What number is it? Even though all numbers look the same?
It's 49, and I didn't know it was his number, but I saw Louvu
Go
on
get
the
another
back of
tackle,
his jersey.
buddy.
No, that's Mooney.
Is that another tackle right there?
Was that Louvu?
Yeah, if it's 49.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, look at him run it down. Oh, yeah, that's a tackle. I'm behind, but yes. How did I get so behind?
Dude, that's the play because Darnell Mooney's good enough to break one tackle, but not that second linebacker tackle. We were thinking of that all along.
Let's see here. All right, where are my Louvu tackles up here? Love seeing Foreman get fed here.
Oh, he just fell on top of Foreman. Can I get an assist? He was like already down. Oh, this is perfect. The Frankie Louvu sweat is fantastic.
I will say, like, the one thing that's nice about the core too is just like going with the grain on how these teams, like the Panthers, have been getting absolutely gashed by the run this year. Here's another Foreman run. And the Bears, and Pat, you were pointing this out too, like their run defense has been really good on the interior. And then playing this through kind of the quick hitting receptions, hopefully a little Chuba in the pass game, a little Adam Thielen there. So not necessarily having to go contrarian against what these teams do well.
Yeah, I mean, Chuba could get, like, the Chuba one doesn't necessarily, he is a running back, so maybe the run defense hurts us there, but we kind of thought about maybe playing it through the receptions, thought about playing it through the receiving game. Ultimately, we settled on the fantasy points because I feel like you have more outs there, but felt comfortable with him getting like a decent amount of the receiving snaps here. And, I would not be interested in playing Miles Sanders against this run defense. And in some ways, maybe the Bears run defense helps them, shift more towards the Chuba side of things in the backfield. We can get there on the receiving side if it's just totally bottled up on the ground.
Yeah. We will eventually need some sustained drives, but
from someone. The chat pointed out that ESPN, I just went and checked too, did not give Louvu the tackle on the Deontay Foreman run. I'm like really confident it was Louvu because then I saw the number and then I saw his name and then it was the same dude that made the tackle on the Mooney play the next play. Oh, they're going to run this punt back.
Come on, man.
Tackle him.
No, what's the flag? There's a flag.
My come on, man, was he almost got tackled by the punter, and you just can't. Yeah. You can never get tackled by the punter.
I was thinking about Chuba's fantasy points where if he could get inside the 10 and just give us a cheap little rush.
Yes, that's nice. What both Foreman and Chuba, like that's the thesis of the fantasy point play, right? Is a touchdown just chews up so much of it.
Yeah, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah. What's this flag?
Yeah, what is the flag?
Rupesh just says it's going to call Rudman and get that tackle sorted. Thanks for
Nice.
thanks for pitching.
Yeah, I mean, if it's either Rudman or I was about to write a letter to a congressman, I don't know what would be better. Okay, so this is counting. All right.
Wow. No flag. All right.
So not necessarily the game script we'd rather the Bears, I think, get a quick TD, but
Yeah,
I mean, at least something happened. We got that.
That is,
yeah,
that's the
it's good for just being here.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
Some people are asking about Bryce Young and why it's been so bad. I think it's a lot of its pocket presence. I think his pocket presence is like real bad. I like just watching him. He drops back. He drops back like he's like just like playing like flag football or something. You know what I mean? He's just like kind of he's like, oh fuck. You know, when it's like he doesn't even conceive of the idea that he's allowed to have rushers come at him, and then there they are. He rates pretty poorly in a lot of the same stuff that Sam Howell does, with taking a lot of sacks and making mistakes on first reads. Not kind of moving off the primary design of the play. He allows pressure at a decent rate. He's got a decent pressure to sack rate. None of it's as bad as Howell, but I also think Howell's shown an ability, he'll make some fun plays too. He's going to hang in there and try, and then it takes a lot of sacks, but he will also do some fun stuff. And I feel like the Bryce Young experience is a little bit less of the Howell bad stuff, but the fun stuff is just a 10-yard throw to Adam Thielen. Yeah.
Part of that, though, we've been saying it since March. They did a horrible job of building this receiving core. Adam Thielen.
Oh, yeah.
I started to come around on Adam Thielen a little bit and Sterling Simmons the last couple of weeks, because the reality is, Pat, remember we were talking about it a few weeks back where I had called it a non-functional part of the offense, and then I came back around on that and I was like, it actually is kind of functional because he has nowhere else to throw. Thielen's his outlet. He's his tight end, and they actually probably want the rookie to have that. The problem is he just has to go to that because DJ Chark, Terrace Marshall, Jonathan Mingo, none of these guys win down the field ever. They're just not open, and none of them really profiled like they would have been open. It wasn't a good receiving core to begin with. And so part of the stuff where he's having a hard time sort of reading might be hard. But I also think, to your point, and I think you described it really well, but that's a hard thing. And we're a little bit spoiled with CJ Stroud because CJ Stroud is the best rookie at that. I can remember. He's better than even Justin Herbert was a good rookie quarterback. Stroud has been better in terms of how quickly he can identify and process things. Dude, his ability to come back after Mayfield scored the go-ahead touchdown and just dice up a prevent defense was prime Mahomes shit. Just carved it up in 6 plays for a TD to win that game. It was so good, so high level. We're seeing that with Stroud. That doesn't mean necessarily that Young's bad. We are in an era where a lot of the best quarterbacks in the NFL are struggling with some of the complex defensive stuff that they're seeing and the way they're rolling coverages and all of this stuff. It's not that surprising that a rookie quarterback might have a hard time with the ways that the NFL defenses are attacking him.
Yeah, for sure. And I also, in the walkthrough this week, I noted that Jordan Love is kind of the opposite of this thing, where he kind of like Mahomes is doing. Mahomes is coming off his first read a lot. He's not making a lot of first read throws. He's not making mistakes, without coming off the first read. But Jordan Love is more like Mahomes. He's not like Howell at all. He's like Mahomes. He's coming off the first read, but he's super inaccurate and terrible at improvising. So you also need, it's some of this is just understanding a little bit more stylistically who these guys are, which I think is helpful. But it's not that one is good and one is bad, right? Some guys hang in the pocket more and try to let the play out. And there's good things that are about that, and there's bad things about that. Some guys are like Mahomes, where they're get me out of the pocket, let me make plays. That's good if you can make plays. But if you're Jordan Love, it fucking sucks. Just stand in the pocket and try to make the play that was designed.
Yeah. We got some more DJM yards here.
These orange jerseys are sick. I like these orange jerseys for the Bears.
Foreman continues to get fed.
Yeah, that's good to see.
I'm tilting that we don't have at least 2 Luvu tackles. It's still showing us 1. That's bullshit.
he 100% made the other tackle. Like, did anyone go back and watch that?
Yeah, no one has watched more IDP tackles than me. I see these from a mile away.
You famously can't tell numbers apart. This is like the worst hill for you to die on.
Check down to 4.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Get it.
baby.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Luvu, put it out, Luvu.
You know what? You know who we need right now? We need Kitchen to come in and identify if this was Luvu's body, because the numbers are lying to us. Yeah, Kitchen.
They gave Luvu the tackle for him running out of bounds. I'm seeing that on ESPN.
I'll take that.
Luvu.
I'll take that.
Did you see Kitchen ran it back on the Swolecast this week? He gave us another heart.
Did he? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Let's go, Foreman. Let him cook. Be
Foreman,
the man.
baby.
Yes.
Foreman is
cooking. Damn, dude. I think he ran past Luvu on that one, though.
Yeah, Luvu's got to make that stop.
Kind of disappointing.
He needs to hang on for the next 5 yards.
Oh, my God.
But this is perfect. They're going to keep giving it to Foreman. That's what's working. Oh, no, Luvu was way on the other side of the field. He would have made that
Luvu.
tackle. Luvu would have definitely. He was in the wrong gap. They're running away from him. They're so scared of him.
Tie his shoe. Tie Foreman's shoe. Get him back out there.
31 rush yards, 12 receiving. That's what? 43, a half point for a catch. What is he, 4.8 already?
5
Looking
points
good.
on the dot. Yep.
Nice. Looking good.
Foreman is like an indictment of the NFL's ball-knowing ability. This guy's looked fucking awesome every single year.
Spot.
Every time. And then they're like, nah, not interested. And then he gets on the field again. He looks I'm like, maybe he lost a step. He must not look good in practice. And then he
did look shitty in the preseason. Like, he looked bad in the preseason. And they were talking about cutting.
He saves it for the season, dude. He's smart.
Yeah, and he looks awesome. He's looked great the whole season when they've needed him.
Yeah. DJ Moore, come on.
Oh, man. That was good coverage.
It was. It wasn't a great throw, though.
He's already
at
at 29 on those two little screens. Like, he's well on his way to the 55.
I mean, what is your guys' take on Bagent? I mean, he's definitely above the Zach Wilson line, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
he's another great example. He's another great example for why the Jets should be trying something. I mean, a lot of the responses I was getting when I was criticizing Zach Wilson on Monday night was like, well, you can't find the next Josh Dobbs. Like, he's already – and it's like the point is the uncertainty is opportunity. The certainty in this case is disaster. We know that Zach Wilson's terrible, right? Like, you should be trying things. Just, like, try. And you might run into a Bagent. My take on Bagent is like you just said. Like, he's definitely above the Zach Wilson line. He's a little bit mobile. He's willing to take shots. He's he reminds you of some of the other like random quarterbacks that have been successful. The one that I was I can't think of his name now, but the one that played for the Dolphins for a little bit, Tyler Thigpen, and the Chiefs for a little bit. Do you guys remember Tyler Thigpen? He was kind of a little bit of mobility. Frank, Fantasy Douche, used to talk about the whole YOLO QB strategy, and the first guy that he really loved to talk about was Jeff Driscoll, and we saw him play a little bit with the Lions and a couple other teams. He's kind of that way, a little bit of mobility, a little bit, a willingness to take some shots downfield, high ADOT when he was throwing. Bagent's first start, they didn't have him throw downfield at all, but he's been doing a little bit more of it. And I've been impressed. Like, he's been good enough. He should have had better numbers last week. Like I said, Velus Jones just fell down on one that was like an obvious, like,
that was so bad.
TD.
In his lap.
Yeah. I mean, like in the EPA per play stuff, he's pretty similar to Desmond Ridder, which is kind of a, if you like just fell into Ridder when you thought like, when Fields was hurt and you happened to find Ridder, you'd be like, oh, this isn't bad at all. Taylor, is he a little Taylor Heineke-esque?
Yes,
I was just going to say Taylor Heineke because I was saying the other thing I think of for these backup quarterbacks, and I remember when Heineke came in and led the Commanders to that playoff win. Remember when they had that game? I think was it over the Bucs? They did, and it was like he came.
They lost, but he played really well. Yeah, they were big underdogs, and he cut it to like 5 points late, and that's the year the Bucs won the Super Bowl, but they almost lost in the first round to Taylor Heineke in Washington.
Right. And he didn't play scared, right? These guys come in like Tyson Bagent doesn't look like a deer in the headlights out there, which is ironic because Taylor Heineke's Halloween costume was literally a deer in the headlights looking at his girlfriend's headlight boobs. But that's
hilarious.
Like, these guys,
That's a great outfit right there.
Scared.
Oh,
yeah.
What a couple's outfit.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I mean, the move then, right? You got to find another girl at the party who also is dressed as headlights, and then your original girlfriend comes back, and now you're really a deer in the headlights. It's just part of the thing, okay?
The photo of his Halloween costume went viral. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Someone in the chat says that someone in the chat says Simeon has to be an upgrade on Zach Wilson. I mean, I think you have to have found that out by now, right? Like, I do think Simeon would be able to process and throw to Garrett Wilson when he's in one-on-one.
You know who's definitely an upgrade? Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz stinks, but like 100% an upgrade on Zach Wilson is at a level of consistently bad. That's like, I'm not sure he should be a backup. Like
you can't be worse. No,
yeah.
That's what I implied this week because I was talking about how some of these flameouts go to the spring leagues. Oh, that's great.
Sorry, continue on.
Some of these, I was talking about like some of the guys that they could actually go try to get now because I got some criticism that I wasn't offering solutions. I've been offering solutions prior to the trade deadline. Obviously, now you can't trade for anyone, but I started naming some names from people's practice squads. And a couple of the, like, now you're getting down to an even lower level of player. But a couple of the ones that I think are interesting are guys that have played in some of the other leagues. The guy from the CFL that made the great play in the preseason, Nathan Rourke, for the Jaguars, is on their practice squad. I think they should give him a shot. And then the guy who's won the last two-time USFL champion, he won the MVP last year, Alex McGough or whatever, McGo, I don't know what his name is. He's on the Packers practice squad. But the point I was making is some of these guys that are successful in these spring leagues end up being okay in the NFL, or at least competent. That's where PJ Walker came from. John Wolford's a guy that played a little bit for the Rams, and Rams were trying to get him back when Stafford got hurt, and the Bucs elevated him from their practice squad to their active roster so that no one could grab him. Apparently, the Vikings were interested as well, but he's like a bona fide backup in the NFL now. But the point I was trying to get to, and I'm having a long-winded way of getting to it, was there are a lot of guys who are like former top players in the NFL that have played in the spring leagues. I mean, terrible. Like Paxton Lynch was really bad. Christian Hackenberg, former second-round pick for the Jets, really bad in the spring leagues. Like, I think you're right, Pat. Like, I think Zach Wilson, if he ever does go play in the spring leagues when he's washed out of the NFL, is going to be bad at that level too, because he's that bad at quarterback.
Yeah,
he can't play. He's not good.
Did you guys laugh when you saw that the Rams signed Carson Wentz? Because it's like, how did the Jets not make that call?
I don't know, man.
Like,
it's so frustrating.
Just give that a shot.
Why isn't he in the building? Like, you should have like 4 to 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
You should have a line out the door.
Why not? Like, you're like, what's better? Like, Michael, do you really need Michael Carter? Like, Dalvin Cook can do everything. Michael Carter, do you really need Dalvin Cook? Pick one of those guys.
They need him on that last side.
Pick one of those guys and send the other one home.
Yeah, I mean, from like a team building perspective, if you're
baby,
that was a great ball.
Wow, who was that?
Yeah, I mean, who's winning downfield? Well, that was their third tight end.
What?
Oh, that's that Mike Strahan guy that was the size speed freak.
That's awesome.
A couple years ago. I didn't even know he was on their team. He's a really good athlete.
Dude, he has some crazy story where he's like playing. Is he from overseas or something? I forget now.
No, I think he's like he played in Germany or something. Yeah. What
he's
is
making the plays, but never forget, guys, Terrace Marshall has had 9 straight incredible Augusts. So take that away from him.
Oh man, look at that. So he's born in the Bahamas.
Thielen, yes, another near 1 yard loss catch for
Ben,
Thielen.
Thank you so much for getting us on receptions. This would be such a brutal sweat. Such a brutal
in half PPR, dude. Oh man, his catches don't add up to anything.
Ian's gonna put
Oh my
together.
God.
You know, you've seen Ian's like montages on Twitter of guys accumulating PPR points. That are just, like, naked
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, he's gonna do just 2 guys getting 1.2
Yeah.
PPR points. Yeah.
Thielen clearing this prop and having like 4.5 underdog points would be very fun.
I normally
Go Chuba.
Chuba,
There we go.
love it. I
Take a
normally
look.
this game has some pace now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go.
The whole
I was
like
gonna take the
PPR
under,
hating,
and then I was like, "Go ahead, sorry."
no, I was gonna say the whole PPR hating like generally annoys me, but I almost always love those Ian tweets. So I was like, yeah, that is dumb.
Oh yeah, I they are funny tweets. I get tilted by the stuff too because it's like I mean whoever scores the TD. I've done this bit before, but whoever scores the TD isn't always perfect. Whoever
No, I know.
like none
But
of
it's
it. It's
one of
just
the things
making
where,
up
like,
arbitrary stuff.
Yeah,
Right. I think PPR is the best version of scoring, and I love it because when I see that tweet, I'm like, that shouldn't be the same.
I agree.
what you
Oh,
should
man.
really
Yeah.
do is a Dalton Kincaid montage of FFPC tight end premium scoring, where he's getting 1.5 points for every 2-yard catch by the line of scrimmage. And Liam just rock hard in his whitey tighties for every one.
As the Bills lose another game.
Oh man.
I just spliced the data on Fantasy Life's tool, and I figured out he's better than Travis Kelce.
As he just makes Spider-Man memes of Kelsey and Kincaid. Oh.
That was the best play by a Panthers wide receiver this year. I'm like super excited for
That was awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Former
I was
track
a little
and
worried it
field-
was Tommy Tremble, to be honest.
Yeah. He was a former track guy, ran the 200, 400, 4x400. Holds a school record for the 400-meter dash. He was drafted in the 7th round by the Colts in 2021. Now he's with the Panthers, outperforming all of the wide receivers they thought were good enough to be their guys.
Dude, think about how good Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson were in college. That they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Terrace Marshall drafted with like top 40 picks.
It's impressive.
They're so good.
Yeah, think about like even the amount of money, based on the rookie year contracts and stuff that probably got them relative to where they otherwise would have gone. I mean, those guys just single-handedly made them millions of dollars.
Millions. Like Clyde, like literally millions, because he would have been probably like a 3rd-round pick. I mean, he might have been a 3rd-round pick if Patrick Mahomes didn't say, "Get me that guy from LSU." Like, he might have been, like I think
Sean famously would say that Benjamin was basically the same guy as CEH, which turned out to be true. It's just that they
turned out
both
to be
suck.
unfair to Eno a little bit.
Yeah, probably unfair to
Do you think Mahomes would like privately, again, not with zero chance, but just very close confidants, like take the L on pounding the table for wanting Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I mean, he would have to.
I think he already has taken the L.
Yeah.
I think he's quietly at home, kind of maybe he hasn't said it, but he looked over and he was
And they're like, you know what, Patrick? It's fine. If you want to take another 1st-round pick, just tell us. We'll let you have that one too. Whatever you want, buddy.
Well,
Like,
Kevin
we're
Cole
not
is
going to
the
hold
thing.
it.
Around the draft every year, he's just like, look, I mean, it's Mahomes. Like, if the cost of like keeping Mahomes happy is burning a 2nd-round pick every year, you do it.
Yeah.
You do it, no questions.
Literally whatever you want, buddy. You want to own the team? Go for it.
So we get a Tommy Tremble catch, but it's an Adam Thielen-esque catch that goes for a 0.5 yard.
Nice.
You love it. Not even.
That's nice. That's good.
I went for 0 yards. That's right, because we have that under. He
It's
was
on a
3rd
five.
on. He was 3rd of their tight ends in routes last week. His routes have really mostly been not very involved this year. I was surprised that he was even in the underdog player pool based on. I mean, he's had a couple catches the last couple weeks, but last week 23% of the dropbacks he ran a route on, 30% the week prior. First 5 games he was under 30% every game. He did have a 37% as a season high in week 6 before their bye. But like Steven Sullivan came back in week 6, and in weeks 8 and 9 since the bye has been just as involved as Tremble behind Hayden Hurst. So it's this like combination tight end grouping that easy to play the under on.
Robert Mays, welcome to the Shipcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing awful. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
We're sweating things like Tommy Tremble lower than 9.5 receiving yards. So we're excited when he gets a catch for 0 yards. That's where we're at tonight.
You guys have to manufacture your own misery. Mine comes naturally. And I think that's you guys are in an enviable position because of that.
Exactly.
Well, we were kind of saying that, like Bagent is at least like you don't have Zach Wilson. That's something. He runs around. He like tries a little bit. It's not the worst it could be.
It's such a strange experience this season because most games I'm not tied to the results at all. All I care about is like, oh, how does Gervon Dexter look? What sort of flash are we getting from Darnell Wright? The wins and losses aren't important to me. Tonight, the win and loss is actually important to me for the first time all year. So it's a very strange emotion that I'm feeling, and I'm not sure exactly what to do with it.
And who I was trying to think through this earlier. Is it that the Bears want to win because they want the Panthers?
They have
to
the pick, right?
Yeah, some people have been saying that it'd be better if the Bears lost because then they would potentially have 2 better picks. I don't subscribe to that. I don't want the 3rd pick and the 4th pick in this year's draft. I want one of the top 2 picks in this year's draft.
Yeah,
pretty desperately. It's all I've thought about for the last 2 months.
But they can control their own outcomes for the next several months. So maybe there is something to be said about like if they want to tank, it's easier. Like this is the only game where they can control the Panthers' outcome. So
it feels so much less gross to root for another team to lose than your team to lose. Yeah. So if the Panthers just keep on losing, it's much cleaner for me.
That makes sense.
Do you think they want to just extend this Justin Fields absence as long as possible for tanking purposes?
I don't think they want to tank because I do think that this staff is probably playing for their jobs at some point down the road. Because I think that becomes the biggest question. Let's say there is a timeline where the Panthers get the number 1 pick or they have one of the top 2 picks and they're in range to draft one of the quarterbacks. The question then you have to ask if you're team president Kevin Warren, ownership, the GM, if he keeps his job, is this staff the one to oversee the Drake May era if that were to start?
Isn't that just like an unquestioned no?
Yeah. What's your answer to that?
You'd think so. You'd think so. But after everything that Poles said last week when they did the sweat trade and he was talking about Eberflus, listen, this organization has not been known for thinking logically and rationally about when you stop certain eras and for what reason. I mean, we're getting way down the rabbit hole now, but one of the things that has plagued them for the last, I don't know, pick a number, 20 years, is that the organization, whether it's the front office, the coaching staff, and the quarterback, are never aligned. So the front office hires a coach, that coach gets fired. They draft a quarterback, then that coach gets fired, then the GM gets fired, then the coach gets hired, then the quarterback gets drafted. Think about it. They've done it every single time. John Fox was there when they drafted Trubisky. They fired him after 1 year. Matt Nagy was there when they drafted Justin Fields. They fired him after 1 year. So that's what's terrifying to me is they keep Eberflus for next year after drafting a quarterback, and then they fire him again.
That seems like the
cycle of life.
And that's not good for the quarterback.
The cycle of my life.
Terrible.
Specifically.
Oh, man.
It's terrible for the quarterback. Like it's like you're trying to sabotage the quarterback.
It's really just not the way to succeed. It's always, they've done it so many different times. And what you have is you have a staff, whether it's at the front office level or the coaching level, that is either not invested in the quarterback or not tied to his success. And it leads to a lot of problems. And it has consistently led to a lot of problems. So I would like to avoid that again if they end up drafting another quarterback.
So is the Bears fan vision board? Is it 1 and 2 overall? Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, and just we usher in a new incredible era.
Look at his face. Yeah.
I'm not going to pick
Hands
one of
up
the
here,
quarterbacks
Robert.
yet. I'm not going to pick one of the quarterbacks yet because I have people that I respect that are Dan Brugler at The Athletic, who is very, very good at what he does. Now has Drake May as the number one player on his board.
Wow.
Okay.
So I think that there are timelines, and I think that there are people in the league who actually might prefer Drake May. So we're going to have that conversation in March or April when we get there. As much as I would love the quarterback Marvin Harrison combo, you cannot justify not trading that pick with two quarterbacks in the draft. Like, you can't justify it. It'd be very fun, but if they pick a quarterback at number 1, I assume they will trade whatever the second top 5, top 6 pick they have is.
That makes sense.
Or maybe not. Maybe if they're picking at 5 and they want one of the players, that's fine. But if it's 1, 2, I think you have to trade one of them.
You got to accumulate assets.
You have to.
Yeah. They have too many needs.
Texans got.
What kind of compensation can they get for Fields, do you think?
It's a great question. I don't really know how the league views him. I remember this spring talking to people, various teams, just kind of checking in the combine, that kind of stuff. And it didn't feel like there was much enthusiasm for him. And that's not surprising after the way that last year went with him as a passer. Hopefully he'll show enough down the stretch here that if that is what ends up happening, where they have to trade him away or they decide to go in a different direction, they can fetch something for him. I assume someone will be willing to take a chance on him. Trey Lance got a 4th round pick from Dallas. He didn't play.
Yeah.
So the flashes you've seen from Justin Fields, I have to assume there's a staff somewhere that says, we'll take a dice roll. I don't think it'll be a high pick, but it'll be something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got to just say this for the people that are watching. Switching gears a little bit. I don't have the sound on, obviously, but it looks like Jason Kelsey's in the booth right now. Just got named like one of the sexiest men in the world or something like that. This guy's riding the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey thing. Now he's getting people's sexiest man in the world or whatever.
Someone in the chat said that the Kelseys are just now the Kardashians, and they just show up everywhere, which does feel right. It's like Donna Kelsey's going to be on the sideline. I mean,
are there any more Kelseys? Is it like a younger Kelsey brother that's going to be part of our lives?
It's a good question. I think there's only those two. I mean, they're getting up there now. I mean, they're in their mid-30s. I'm not sure when that got to be coming around. I told a story. I don't know if I've ever told the story publicly. I knew Travis Kelsey from the time he was pretty young in the league. I wrote a story about him in like 2014. When he was just a cool player, and you could do profiles of people like that.
Stashed on our dynasty benches. Yeah.
And now 10 years later, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best players ever at his position. But even it was 2 years ago when the draft was in Vegas. And I was at Coachella the weekend before the draft, and I saw him there. And then at Vegas in the airport security line, he was there. And I went up and I was talking to him. We've known each other for a long time. And I was talking to my wife like a couple weeks ago. I was like, that'll never happen again. that never for the rest of his life, most likely will be he in that situation where he's just going through the normal airport security line like a typical human being, which is just crazy to think about that was only a year and a half ago.
He is now under paparazzi 24/7 surveillance with the biggest pop star of the world, and he used to just hang out with you at airports, Robert.
He was your Coachella buddy not too long ago.
We were standing in the same spot. We will never be standing at the same spot at a music event ever again for the rest of our lives.
That's a good bet.
I got scrolling. I hadn't been on TikTok in a while. The other night I started scrolling and I landed on like Swiftie TikTok. And there's a girl and she's doing like the green screen effect with a photo of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey. And she just goes, I can't do anything else today. This photo is going to dominate every single thought I have. And it's just like them like exiting a restaurant. I'm like trying to inspect. I'm like, what's going on here? But it's just like, I mean, it's all consuming for Swiftie Nation. I'll tell you that.
What did you never got a sense of why it had struck a chord?
It was like, maybe it had this like je ne sais quoi of like, I don't know. It definitely felt like two superstars, they're kind of like have their head down, not wanting to be seen. And I can't explain it, dude. You know it when you see it, I guess.
I wish I cared about anything as much as they.
I know.
I don't want to care about something that much.
I feel like I would be more successful, like channeling whatever that energy is into something in my life. I feel like it would just take me to different heights.
Oh man. Robert, what's your take on the Bears backfield? We have Deontay Foreman higher than 9 fantasy points tonight, so we've been enjoying all of his early runs here.
It's so interesting that the way the hierarchy shook out early in the season, because every time he's touched a football over the last 2 years, I'm like, that guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was a healthy scratch early in the year, I mean, and the stats belie some pretty good play from Khalil Herbert. And obviously they want to get Roshan Johnson from touches. He's good in pass protection, all that stuff. But the fact that this guy was on the bench and every time he touches the ball, it's clear how much juice he has. It just tells you a lot about maybe some questions about their decision-making early in the season and how they were shaking out those touches.
I want to ask you about the other side. We were just talking about the rookie QBs coming into the league, new coaching staffs and everything. What's your take on Bryce Young right now? I mean, I'm sure your take on CJ Stroud is the same as everyone who watches football, which is that what he's doing is just absurd. And I think that's in some ways setting too high of a bar for Bryce Young, who's we were just talking about during the first quarter, operating with a pretty poor receiving core, not a lot of help there, not a lot of guys that are winning for him. What have you seen from him in the first half of his rookie year? What do you think his rest of this season and I guess career? It's obviously very early, but what are your thoughts on him?
There's a reason that people advocate for taking the biggest swing possible when you're drafting a quarterback at the top of the draft, because the entire point of, and what you should be chasing in those moments is a guy who can transcend some of the circumstances around him. And that's the problem with Bryce Young right now, is that so much is going wrong with pass protection, how static the offense feels, lack of receiving options, but he can't transcend any of that. So if you're going to trade what they traded for that guy, he needs to be somebody that can step above and beyond what you're putting around him. And right now, Bryce Young is the opposite of that. He's crumbling in those circumstances. And I think that's the biggest concern. And so if you're looking at what CJ Stroud is doing right now, if you're looking at what Anthony Richardson was doing early on, I mean, these are guys where it just jumps off the screen. And when you're drafting somebody in the top 5, those are the types of things you have to seek out. And so some of the things that made Bryce Young special at the college level, where it's, it's instincts and pocket movement and all of that, he clearly just can't do those things at the same level because the speed of the game and the size of the game is just so much different. So I struggle to figure out ways where he's going to have plus traits. And when you trade away what they did for somebody at number 1 overall, that's a pretty concerning place to be halfway into his rookie year.
And it stinks for them that CJ Stroud is lighting things on fire,
He's
because
so
now
good.
that's the national talking point of, some regrets over there. Like if CJ Stroud was just middling, you'd have so much cover right now, but you have no cover. There's nowhere to hide.
There isn't. And he's looked incredible. I mean, and that's the most frustrating part about it. And that offense just looks so much better. I mean, everything that Bobby Sloak is doing and all the buttons they're pressing, it's just so much more dynamic and interesting than what's going on in Carolina.
I mean, there's so many things that we could ask you about that would relate back to fantasy. I'm really interested in Houston's offense. I've been trying to place like how valuable, like, is this a top 5 passing game? These receivers for fantasy purposes have been fantastic. Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I mean, I don't know how high to be valuing all of them, but CJ Stroud to me is, and the way that they're running that offense, there was a period where they were getting a little too run heavy for my liking. The pass rate over expected stuff lower. They got back to the positive, like plus 5% this past week. And
I think the first time all year they were positive.
Yeah, because they were like more neutral.
Really nice to see.
But and you see that that's the way that they're going to win, and you have to assume that's what they're going to do the rest of the way. I think this team can win fantasy leagues. I think this passing game is going to put up big numbers. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. How good is this from a statistical standpoint? What would you say it's a top 5? I know you do a lot more actual ball knowing than our fantasy stuff, but it seems like that great of a passing game right now,
especially in this climate where there's so many teams that are struggling and so many offenses that are struggling to find footing. It absolutely feels like that. And what I just love is you look at all of the underlying elements of what the offense is, and you just see the Shanahan in it. Them using heavy personnel to make defenses simple. I haven't looked at the numbers in a couple weeks, but they still use a lot of 21 personnel with Andrew Beck. They're getting big bodies on the field, and it simplifies coverage for them. So the Niners last year, one of the beautiful things about the Niners is even when they weren't running the ball that consistently over the last couple of years, the threat of the run and the personnel that they use makes defenses really simple. They saw the most cover 3 on early downs of any team in football last year, I think outside of the Falcons, and the Falcons weren't an NFL offense in 2022. And if you look at the numbers for the Texans this year, it's very similar. And that's probably why they'll continue to lean on the run more than they should, because as you're thinking about what the recipe has to be to get to those places you want the defense to be, you have to do it often enough to give it credence. But I do think that they're slowly discovering what they have to be effective.
Yeah.
Which is Stroud. Yeah, that's
yeah.
So
Man.
the Niners is another one I want to ask.
That sack is just so classic.
Yeah.
Bad.
The Niners is another one I wanted to ask you. I just want to interview you about all this stuff that I've been writing about that I think I know what is kind of going on, but I'm not actually sure, and you would know. Do you think some of their struggles the last couple of weeks are because Debo's out and the lack of versatility and some of that stuff? I mean, how like Debo being banged up, or is it more Purdy?
I think Purdy's been similar to what he's been for the most part. I think that if you look at like turnover worthy plays, everything else, I mean, that game he played against the Vikings where everyone was freaking out, it's the same game he played against the Giants, just in reverse. And so I think that's the biggest issue, is that the balls that are interceptable are being caught. They've gotten caught with coverages a couple more times. I do think the Trent Williams thing is real. So if you look at the way that Trey Hendrickson affected that game when they played Cincinnati, I think that is a problem. But for the most part, I'm not concerned about it. I think when he gets back, and I think when Debo gets back, you're going to see a similar type of offense, similar type of explosiveness. Like, they haven't changed that much to me. My concerns about San Francisco are rooted way more in the defense than they are in the offense.
You guys see
What's
where
not been that great?
What's your concern about San Fran's D?
I mean, their run defense has been actively bad so far this season. Like, they're the bottom of the league in run defense success rate, all that kind of stuff. And we were talking about the show a little bit today. And one of the beautiful things about the late stage DeMeco Ryans defenses, so one play in particular we always talk about, and I think it's a really good example. They played Seattle on a Thursday night in the middle of last season. Seattle comes out and empty. It's third down, and they have the running back at the number 1 spot. Fred Warner is lined up over the running back. So everything about what's happening there tells you it's man, right? So we get man coverage. This is how we have something dialed up, and they drop back into cover 2 behind it. And when you're in the 405 level of the defense that DeMeco Ryans has been running forever, that's the type of stuff you can do. And I think some of the disguises, some of the plan, it's become a little less complicated, a little bit easier to decipher. And so you combine that with some of the run defense struggles, and I think you're seeing some of the issues that they've had over the last few weeks.
When you say running backs, so you said empty, running backs in 1, he's way out wide, and they have a linebacker way out wide with him, basically playing outside corner. And so that's what's the tell. It's man, but they drop into a zone.
Yes.
That's
cool. The Niners did that a couple times last year, and then the Cowboys had done that, because it's honestly like a really good microcosm of why offenses are struggling right now. Because that's one thing you could do to pretty easily dictate or pretty easily decipher information if you're the offense. We're going to line up this way. They're going to show us this. We know exactly what they're in. And that's just no longer the case. So many things that used to be easy buttons, pathways to easy offense, just aren't there anymore because defenses have figured out what their answer is. And that's, I think, is just one small example.
Okay, I have another really broad. Sorry, Pete.
I just want to piggyback on that and just frame it a little bit for this week. Do you think it's wild that they're 3-point road favorites over the Jags this week?
No, because the Jags, while I think a good team, the Jags are still incredibly frustrating. I mean, the Jags offense specifically is a really hard watch for me sometimes, because they have this running game where it's really boom or bust, and they hunt out these explosives, but they have so many plays to go for negative yardage, and Travis Etienne is maddening, and still the turnovers, like a Pittsburgh game, all you need to look at is like a 4-play stretch. Trevor throws a beautiful ball to Christian Kirk while he's getting sawed off in the backfield. That drive ends with Evan Ingram fumbling a shovel pass. Later in the game, Trevor throws this beautiful ball to Calvin Ridley on a crosser. He keeps it away from the safety. I'm like, oh God, that's that guy at his best. And then 3 plays later, he throws a red zone interception. So while the Jags are very fun sometimes, very talented, and I think their defense is playing at a really, really high level, I don't think there's some bankable asset right now. So no, that's not that surprising to me.
I also I feel like the Purdy stuff has been pretty overrated in terms of how bad he is all of a sudden. They've lost some games. He had one really bad game, but he's still first in EPA per play. He's first in success rate. He's and some of the stuff is getting baked in. The mistakes are now he's getting the defense is making him pay for some of the turnover worthy throws and stuff. And he's playing more in line. Like his stats are more in line with his actual play, and he's still first. And the Jags don't have a good pass rush, which I think is critical for Purdy, right? You got to keep him clean, and he should be like decently clean. Are you worried about him this week being able to? I'd
be a little bit worried about the Trent Williams, Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen's played really well this year. I would totally agree with you, though. I mean, this may be like a contrarian hipster nonsense take, but the last couple games that Purdy played, he did stuff against the Bengals where I was more impressed with him in that game than I've been in plenty of the supposedly great games he's played over the last couple of years. Like, I think he's actually done some decent stuff over the last couple of games, out of structure, on the move, as a scrambler. So my opinion of him has not changed at all over the last 2 weeks. Against Jacksonville specifically, we previewed that game on our show today. It's an interesting matchup because, again, what the Niners really like to do is, over the last couple of years, when they get teams in base defense, when they have their 21 personnel lineup with Juszczyk on the field, they just carve you up. Teams stack the box and they just throw it all over the yard. The Jags play more base defense to 21 personnel than any team in the league. That's what they do. They throw big bodies against big bodies. The problem is they're incredible at defending the pass out of it. Like, they've been so good at that this year. So some of the ways that the Niners typically like to attack teams, the Jags just aren't going to let them do that. And so I think it's a really cool kind of cat and mouse game on that side of the ball. And when they aren't in those big bodies, they disguise coverage right now as well as anybody. I mean, they're throwing a lot of junk ball crap at people in the most fun way possible. Like, Mike Caldwell is very much a descendant of Todd Bowles. And I think that this is another one of those games similar to Cincinnati. Like, that's what Lou Anarumo does all the time, where there's a chance. And Brian Flores, same deal. Like, he's got 3 coordinators in a row, Purdy has, that are going to show you one thing and then do something wildly different off of it. And sometimes he struggles in those moments. So I think I'm not worried about him down to down, but I think this is another one of those games where they could get him once or twice.
That whole thing with defense is showing one thing, doing another. I referenced Jordan Rodriguez's awesome series over at The Athletic this summer, the play callers, on a bunch of my work because I thought it was awesome. I remember Robert Saleh was talking about some of their goals, but Sean McVay was talking about that specific point where, like, he used to want defenses essentially to play things perfectly because then he felt like he could attack them. And it's just so different now. You don't know what this is a broad trend, and it may relate to this. It may not relate to this, but one of the things that I've been seeing so far this year, obviously we're in the world of the stats. We're just looking at target shares and stuff. It seems like elite number 1 wide receivers are dominating passing games like we haven't seen in a half decade. Like, in a decade ago, we had, like, Brandon Marshall once had a 40% target share, right? Like, we used to have 200 target seasons. Julio Jones had one. Calvin Johnson had one. We haven't had as much of that the last few years as the shotgun 3 wide receiver look started to become more prevalent. We had more spread offenses. We're still seeing a lot of spread and a lot of this stuff, but we are seeing A.J. Brown is blowing away Devonta Smith in a way that wasn't really expected. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and their offenses. These guys are seeing 16 target games. And
we're seeing, like, the Cowboys come out of their bye and their pivot is CeeDee Lamb. Like,
throw to CeeDee Lamb every single down. Yeah. And is there something, and I saw some interesting data about it, that maybe these number 1s are particularly dominating when they get into single height looks. Is there something that you're aware of that is leading to this trend? Because it's something I'm trying to, like.
It's a great question. And I think the broader kind of macro trends defensively wouldn't necessarily lend to that. I honestly think that the single high stuff for Philadelphia, I think, is very much the case. So if you look at A.J. Brown's target share against man coverage, it's hilarious. So he gets 50% of their targets against man. So every single time the Eagles face man coverage, or every other time, I mean, you've seen the plays. Just think about it anecdotally. I mean, they're just running go balls to the guy who's bigger and faster and better than the players on the other side.
And we call him a grown-ass man around here. They're just like, I'm going to throw it to the grown-ass man over there.
And I think on the CD stuff is interesting because that is now they're putting CD at the X. So where he used to play in the slot and he's on the formation side where, you know, if it's 3-by-1, he's the slot receiver and the 3 receiver side. Now he's isolated. So they're trying to create more one-on-one matchups for him and just potentially simplify the ways they're trying to get him the ball. And against quarters, that kind of makes sense. That kind of turns into one-on-one on that side because of how the coverage distributes. So there may be something to that. But I haven't thought about how the number one receiver thing necessarily plays into some of the macro trends we've seen defensively. But it's a good question.
It's a new trend, so it is something we'll have to learn more.
You know, is anyone tracking this? Like you show them one thing, you do another type stuff. Because I would love to just be able to dive into like who's doing it. You know, like which coaches are doing. Like this is clearly such an important thing, and it's an important trend that we're seeing around the league. But you know, some teams are kind of slow to catch on, which could maybe be an edge to target those teams.
So I think there are people doing it. Just like, what are you showing in terms of like the pre-snap shell? But now the majority of teams are playing with a too high shell on the majority of defensive snaps. So if you're just very like over the last 15 years, let's say, following the macro trends like around the league, the Seattle cover 3 took over the NFL. So they'd start doing that early 2010s. That becomes the defensive meta. So you have all these teams playing single high and just playing some combination of cover 3 and man for the most part. So the Shanahan teams rise to meet that in like that 2016, 2017 stretch. And just think about the 2017 Rams and what they looked like. It's under center, play action, big crossing routes against single high. So you're just crushing teams on explosives on those big crossers over the middle of the field against single high. Well,
and then getting light boxes. I remember Todd Gurley ran it like a higher rate against.
Because they play at 11 They play 11 personnel on every single snap. So that was their version of it. But the Shanahan, even though Shanahan plays in heavier personnel, similar sorts of ideas. If you think about what those teams were, it's play action, it's big crossing routes against single high. As defenses shift to meet that, it starts happening in 2018. The Lions are really one of the first teams to do it against that Rams team in 2018. They start playing a lot more quarters. So you don't have the answers to the test before the test starts. When teams are starting in that quarter shell, it can be anything. When you're starting in single high, it can really be only cover 3 or man unless you're doing some complicated disguise. So now you have all these teams borrowing from this Fangio idea where we're going to play with a too high structure at the beginning of every single snap. But after the ball was snapped, it changes into whatever. The Rams are a very good example. When Staley got to Los Angeles, they're playing with that basic idea. Even though they play with a quarter shell before the snap starts, they played less quarters than almost any team in the league. They're playing cover 3, but they're dropping down into it. So the backside safety is now dropping into those deep crossing routes that used to destroy teams. So it's just creating like a little bit of hesitation at the snap where the quarterback doesn't know what's coming. So think about play action. You're turning your back to the defense. So what you saw at the beginning of the play was this umbrella coverage where it looked like quarters. Then you turn around after the play fake and it looks entirely different. So that Fangio sort of defense was perfectly designed to meet what all of those play action heavy Shanahan teams were doing. And then there's more stuff to it. A lot of the solid teams now play quarters. Like specifically, it's not more cover 3 like those Fangio teams are, but those are like the general broad strokes of, I think, how it's all changed.
And we haven't really seen the offense be able to rise to meet that. I mean, I feel like the defenses are getting even better now. I mean, we saw that really manifest in 2022, but they're taking it to a new level. Their red zone defense has gotten better. Percent of drives that are getting to the red zone has actually gone down. I mean, the scary thing for us in fantasy football was like, what if the defenses continue to get even better rather than the offenses having a punch back? And the defenses seem to schematically just have a huge edge right now.
I think they have gotten better. I think they've gotten better at a couple different spots. So the easiest answer, if teams are going to play those light boxes, is let's just run it at them. The problem is defenses have gotten so good with how they build their personnel, where they know they need run stuffers now, front structures, and just stunting and changing the front as the snap is happening. So run defense has actually gotten better even as boxes have gotten lighter. So one of the answers that offenses would theoretically have, that path no longer exists. And then the red zone stuff, I think, is some of the most impactful stuff. And this goes back to that conversation about easy buttons with alignment. In the red zone 5 years ago, if you're running switch releases and pick plays against man coverage, you're scoring touchdowns. Well, now every single defense knows that's what you're going to try to do. So that's not nearly as effective, and teams are so much more used to the quarterback run game in that area of the field that's not as effective as it used to be. So all of these advantages, the offense, it's really, really difficult.
So I've been workshopping this take that Taysom Hill is going to decide.
I knew you were going to Taysom Hill. I literally was about to bring Taysom Hill right now.
I mean, Taysom Hill's been a punchline for so long, but the way that they've been using him in the red zone the last few weeks, like you have to have complicated answers in the red zone now, and he does create a lot of problems in the red zone. I mean, he might be the most important player in the NFC South right now. It's not a very good division. Let's be honest.
No, it's not.
He honestly might be. It's him and Demario Davis, so like the guys who will decide the NFC South here over the next 8 weeks. What a depressing division that is. I don't want to get into Falcons talk with you guys. I feel like that's a really
that's a bad issue to get to around here.
Arthur's got us all riled up these days.
Yeah. I have one more team specific question for you. This goes the other way from the elite number one stuff. The Chiefs drive me nuts. Every week they do this. Like when I look at their route percentages by percent of the dropbacks, most teams, we have certain receivers that we can depend on. The Chiefs are rotating. It's so we all want Rashee Rice in the fantasy community to get up to 80% plus routes, but he's not. And I think this is because they're doing a lot of unique formational stuff. They have different packages that they really like. Can you talk a little bit about that? Are they always going to be really rotational? Are they ever going to concentrate their wide receiver routes?
So last year, in talking to people there before the season, one of the biggest questions they had without Tyreek is which guys do we put on which routes? So if we're building these plays, which guy does this the best? Which guy does this the best? It feels like they're still deep in that process this season, and it's taking longer than normal because the receivers are even younger than they typically are. So it just feels like we're having an extended experimental phase for what their offense looks like. I know that's probably not a satisfactory answer, but that's my best guess as to why they haven't landed on anything, because they're going to be around at the end, right? Like their defense is so good. It's the best defense they've had in Andy Reid's tenure there. The offense is still pretty good if you look at the numbers. So I think that they're just trying to figure out what is the best version of who we can be, and they're just experimenting along the way to try to find it. That's my guess.
It's a good answer because it doesn't rule out that they might concentrate later in the year. And a lot of what we're trying to predict is what's going to happen weeks 15 to 17, the fantasy playoffs. And that's what I keep saying is like it could still happen for Rashee Rice in a way that is, I mean, he's got to develop a lot of stuff.
He's so much further ahead than rookie receivers that we typically see with Andy Reid. And maybe those data points are probably off now because we were using Sky Moore as one of those data points. And maybe we just shouldn't have done that. But I still feel like at a certain point, you trust your eyes, right? Like when you watch him play the plays that he's making compared to everyone else, you could just feel that he's a different sort of threat than everyone else they have. So if that's what you're betting on weeks 15 through 17, I still think you're making that bet.
Robert, what's your game watching like habits? Like, do you watch live on Sundays? I assume you're going back and watching every game individually. How do you? Because everyone has their different rituals with that stuff.
So I watch live on Sunday. We do a live Sunday night recap at the end of every week. So I have 3 TVs in my basement. I do like the 4-box on one TV, and then typically another 4-box on another TV, and then I'll watch the Bears on the third. So I've typically got like 8-9 games going during the early slate. We'll go through the afternoon slate, and then after we decide after the second set of games what we're going to watch or what we're going to talk about on the show, we typically spend 6:30 p.m. Central till 10:30 p.m. Central. I will rewatch the 5 games that we're going to talk about, just the 45-minute versions of them. And then during the week, we'll pick, whatever we're going to do on the Thursday preview show that we do for the following week. So I'm going back and watching, let's call it 8 sides of the ball, from separate games over the course of the week. So by the time the week ends from Sunday at noon until the following Friday at 9 a.m., I've probably watched 10 to 12 whole games.
Nice.
And that's how you know this much ball. I mean, that's like you got to watch the games. I'm always saying
I'm exhausted for you just listening to all that film grinding there.
I am not charismatic, talented, or knowledgeable enough to not do that. So in order to have viability in the space, I feel like that's what has to happen. So it's not because I have a great work ethic or because whatever.
That's ridiculous.
It's certainly not a virtue. It's just self-preservation.
Well, you are humble, clearly. You also have a Thursday night after breakdown after the game with Nate Tice. You'll have it later tonight. Anyone who wants to get more of this should definitely check that out. That's always a blast. There you go. Casey's got it as well. Tune into the live recap later tonight. They'll be giving us a lot more good stuff like this.
Happy to do it. We love doing those shows. They're by the time we do those, it's after we've already done our weekly preview show. So we are very slap happy by 11 p.m. Central when we're doing those shows. But if you want to come hang out and watch me be very sad, depending on how the ending of this game goes, you're more than welcome to join.
And what kind of fantasy action you getting down? What is your DGen level here with this stuff?
So I typically like to keep it pretty contained just because I don't like rooting for and against everyone. That's always been my strategy. And I know that if I start getting into the best ball stuff, I have an addictive personality, and I think that it might be a slippery slope. So I've tried to avoid it. But for the
everyone on this show with you and watching this show understands what you're implying.
We get it. We think you're wrong. You should do it.
I've tried not to wade into it because I also that when best ball drafts are happening, like I know they happen all summer, but when they really ramp up, that's when I'm on the road. I typically go to training camps all of August, so I'm busy when that sort of stuff would be happening.
You're a slow draft guy, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. So typically I don't get into that, but I have a high school league that we've had for it's been 14 years now. It's like a keeper league with a bunch of like insane rules that is amazing and I love. So that's like my main league. I'm in a league with a bunch of other Chicago like fantasy guys. So it's like a Chicago media fantasy league where I have not lost a game yet this year, which is crazy.
Our buddy Sam Hoppin's in that. I remember when you guys drafted, there was a picture. Sam Hoppin used to do some stuff with chip chasing. I saw he was in that.
Sam, a lot of Chicago guys in the industry. So I'm in the league with them, and then I do a league with my college buddies. So it's really just 3.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah. When you talk about going down the rabbit hole as like an NFL media member with best ball, you're subtweeting Bill Barnwell, right? He's a cautionary tale.
I would never say that about Bill. He's
brought up Trey Lance earlier. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Robert, we very much appreciate you taking some of your time to hang out with us tonight.
Absolutely, guys. Anytime. It was fun.
Yeah. We do you guys got anything else here before we head to the Pick 'em lobby to try to salvage some second half sweats here?
Oh, it's halftime. Yeah, we gotta we start doing our DGen at halftime, picking some stuff for the second half. So we gotta get on that before the second half starts.
Again, you guys are inviting the misery. It's gonna happen naturally for me. So good luck with all of that. We'll do this again soon.
Thanks
again,
so
Robert.
much.
Appreciate it.
See you guys.
That is Robert Mays from The Athletic. Awesome.
Truly knows ball. The ball
Yeah.
knowledge. I know more ball now. Just in that show.
Yeah.
Interview.
God, I could ask some questions all day. I was geeking out. That was a blast.
I know. I was tempted to bring up more Stroud stuff, and I was like, "No, Pat, this is ending now."
I was confused. I thought we were at halftime because they were showing all the guys like on the field for.
We had time. I could have asked him about Stroud again.
Minute 5 left.
Yeah,
It did look like halftime.
Let's get in the weeds though here, and see if we can come up with some angles here for at the half. So just to check in on our core here, Deontay Foreman. I did see someone say while all that was happening with Mays, and I didn't want to derail
he went to the tent.
Went to the tent, but then was back out of the tent on the sideline was the last I heard. But I don't see him on the field right now.
Well, this is 2-minute drill. They don't. I mean, this is not going to be his stuff.
True.
Anyway. Early second half will be when we learn what the deal is with him.
True.
There's some DJ Moore yards.
Okay.
How are we feeling? I think the Chuba one scares me the most.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to have to be through receptions.
Yeah,
right.
But we need the Bears to score.
They have 97 total yards, the Panthers. I mean, they had a punt return TD. They have 6 first downs in the first half. They've run 24 plays. None of these are good numbers for anyone who doesn't have context immediately.
Bryce Young has 2 yards. Right? No, sorry. I was looking at the wrong stat. Never mind.
Yeah, he's got 63 passing yards, but they're still struggling. It's not much better than 2 yards.
I don't go back to this well, but Adam Thielen, 31 receiving yards in the second half.
8 currently with 4 catches, 3 catches.
I'm down for. Actually, I don't know if I want to play 3 yards. I thought for some reason.
Look at this Tommy Tremble number.
4.5.
Look at this Tommy Tremble number. 0.5 receiving
Oh God,
yards.
that's amazing. I love that.
That's some closing line.
We
value.
do need the Bears to score on this drive.
Yeah.
Back to your point of the game script. The Panthers are doing nothing because they've led the whole first half. They're playing super conservative. They're already trying to turtle and win this game, 10-6, which is not great.
Everything on the
Bagent
Bears
just got
side
hurt.
is pulled right now because they're on the field. So we can just wait a second.
So here's the difference, I think, between Bryce Young and Tyson Bagent, who I hope is okay here.
Yeah, if he's concussed, who plays quarterback for Chicago?
He's
They're
back
leaving
out.
him out there.
So
All right.
Nathan Peterman, guys, is where we would go
wow.
next.
Goodness.
I thought it might be him, but I wasn't sure.
historical anomalies breaking that Foreman is totally fine and definitely doesn't have an ankle injury, so that's good.
That's a spit zone.
The difference between Bryce Young and Tyson Bagent is Bryce Young, when he sees the defender coming and he just literally stares the dude down, and then at the last second he throws the ball out of bounds. And Bagent sees the guy and he does this it's kind of the CJ Stroud thing where he does the upper body pump fake, and then he throws like a total duck. but he thinks of something cool. He's like, I'm gonna fake this dude out, and it kind of works. And then he just throws like a worst pass you ever seen. But it's the thought that counts.
We got 49 from DJ Moore. We're gonna hit that part of it. And Mooney has no catches, right? Oh, I had to speak, right? Was that Mooney?
Come on, man.
No, I think that's. Oh, is
That's
that?
not Mooney.
No, that's
No,
Travis.
it's not him. Yeah.
Scott.
That was
right?
Scott, right? Yeah.
Mooney,
that was
Mooney
Scott.
had that one little
Oh, no.
catch
They made
at
the same
the very
play.
beginning. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, he has one catch for 6 yards. Ooh, Bagent rolling right.
Oh, see, that was it was almost cool.
Yeah.
I
don't have a good read on the second half of this game, guys. There's not been a lot of yards in the first half. It's not looking promising. I love that you mentioned Tommy Tremble has 0.5 yards.
0.5, which is hilarious. The other thing that's hilarious about that is they have his catch prop set for it's at 0.5 to clear it to get one catch. So they're basically saying he's going to get another catch, but it would be for just 1 yard.
Right.
like it's
So
not
far, he has
up for anything more than 1 yard gain on the
That's
catch.
amazing. So far, he has the one catch for no yards. So
Nice.
Yeah, we'll take that.
That's
They
great.
still have a timeout. Yeah, they're in solid field goal range. They can take a couple shots to the end zone, maybe at least one.
Now, I don't know what the numbers can be, but one thing I would be interested in is Miles Sanders unders.
Let's see.
Has he even touched the ball?
They don't even have it posted. Miles Sanders isn't in the lobby right now.
He hasn't even touched the ball. I wanted to take his over. So you guys got off that and were smart enough to want to be on Chuba. I didn't know how real
let's
has been.
Jury's out on how smart that was.
Well, it was right from a usage perspective because I thought it might get closer to 50-50. Oh, no, Agent.
Wow.
You're going to run out of time, dude.
Fun.
Timeout. Jeez.
Bagent's fun, man. He's got a little
He is
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
He is that, but that ball's got to come out quick because if you do that play in like 5 seconds, you could potentially take another shot. That became a 9-second play, and now you're just kicking the field goal. That's what Carolina wanted, obviously.
Right.
Whoa, Daniel, thank you for this update. I
7 tackles. Let's go.
Let's
Wow.
go. Come on.
Is there any way that you can sub in your fibers for your core?
Right.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
think our tackle ones are looking way better than our core.
Yeah, and our unders, both Mooney, Tremble,
Yeah.
and DJ Moore and Luvu. All the things we tacked on to make the 5 is looking better than our core.
Our core is not looking good.
Daniel, why does mine
happened.
only say 5?
It says 7 on ESPN too. So
Okay, update stat corrected to 6. We still up. Yeah, we're on a good pace there.
I'm seeing 7 on ESPN still, but all right, it's half. They gotta fire these up. What do we got for numbers here?
All right.
All right.
Let's see here.
DJ
Still
Moore's
no
only
Miles-
20. What were we gonna say?
No, I was saying still no Miles Sanders.
DJ Moore 75.5. Bagent's less than 100 passing yards. He's already at 127. I mean,
Doesn't it feel like Chicago's going to get the lead here and then get
and then we're not gonna
yeah. But I mean, is Carolina going to do anything? They've looked bad in this game. Chuba's receiving is down to 4.5. I like that. That you guys like Chuba's receiving before the game. 4.5.
that's
that
good.
actually seems like it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Because we like the Bears to get the lead.
Yeah, and Chuba's going to catch some passes. He's run a lot of routes. Miles Sanders isn't playing. That's money right there. I was a little worried about it.
I would happily take an under on Terrace Marshall. I'll tell you that much.
Let's do it.
I know it feels bad, but
DJ Chark's out. Is he running a lot of routes?
Someone get us some Nathan Yankee. Actually, I see it on my Twitter. Terrace Marshall has run 11 routes. So Thielen at 17, Mingo at 17, Marshall 11, Strahan or whatever 6, Hayden Hurst 9, Tommy Tremble 8.
Sorry, what was those numbers?
So Marshall's at 11 routes, 1 target.
11 of like how many dropbacks? Like
I don't know.
19 or
Yankee,
something?
man.
He's probably around.
Miles Sanders has
50
8
to
snaps,
60%
7 routes run. Wow. All Miles Sanders has done is run routes. Chuba only has 4 routes. Miles Sanders has 7, and Blackshear has 4. That's weird. But let's still take the
Chuba over rushing if you want.
I think the Chuba over receiving makes sense. He's still going to be out there on early downs.
We could go over both, but yeah, 4.5 is just so low. I like it.
Over on who? The other one? Who's the other one?
The Marshall under could make sense if we think they play that Strahan guy a little bit more in the second half after he showed a little juice in the first. That would come directly at the expense of Marshall, it looks like.
Yeah.
You have Thielen and Mingo at 17 each, 11 and
that.
6.
Yeah.
Are there any kind of Bryce Young overs that make sense? Passing attempts, maybe?
He's at 14.
30.5.
Completions. It's only 12 more instead of that's only 17 more. Yeah, he only has 7 because they haven't really had the ball because the punt return TD. But like
attempts is easier to get to than because
I just think because he dumps off short a lot. We were already playing the Chuba yards, and Thielen is gonna be like his biggest target. Like,
yeah,
for him to get the attempts, he's got to move the ball too. They got to keep the ball.
If we're doing anything with Bryce, I think we got to correlate it with Thielen, though, right? Like if Bryce succeed, Thielen's succeeding.
But Thielen's
why don't we do completions and receptions? Oh, we can't do receptions with Thielen? Give us receptions, Underdog.
Come on.
Thielen has 3 catches
yards.
per
No one
8
wants
yards.
yards with Thielen.
He's averaging 2.666 yards per catch right now. So to get to 40 receiving yards, he's only going to need like, I don't know, 16 receiving receptions or something.
Completions is a fun sweat, but I don't know if I can sweat 12 Bryce Young completions.
Well, you want 17 attempts is a lot of attempts.
But I just need him to chuck it. I don't need anything to happen after that. As soon as I see the ball in his hand, I'm relieved.
Yeah, that's fair. They do got to stay on the field, though, for that to work.
We need the Bears to score points. It's a bet on the Bears, basically.
Yeah.
I think completions or attempts is fine for Young, to be clear. If
I'm okay with either, too. I'm okay with either.
Yeah.
It's just sort of what we correlate with, probably.
I wish they would give us they're not giving us any Bears running back stuff with the Foreman uncertainty, which sucks.
I think we just go DJ Moore over because he only needs another 27 yards and he had 49 in the first half and he used DJ Moore.
Yeah, but it's a little concerning with the way we think this goes. Like I could see Moore getting like 15 more yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, for sure.
I would love to play it through the running. I want to play this Bears running backs.
I just think with the targets so far, he has 7 out of 24. He has 7 targets on 24 passes. He has a massive target share. That outside target share number with the Panthers that Pete pulled before the game, I feel like we've seen that. Every time I look down, Roschon has 5 targets. Cole Kmet has 4. Those have seemed like extended plays, dump offs. Kmet's caught a couple of those. He caught one in the
All right, I'm sold.
There. But a lot of the drop back stuff has just been more.
Wait, Pete, you did the combined.
Oh, do we want?
We can do combined.
Why not?
He already has
yard. It's not free.
Yeah,
it's not free rolling.
He already has that rushing yard. He's currently at 50 and 49.
That's
okay. Throw it in.
It's even.
Yeah.
It's even.
It's even.
Okay. And he might get a 15-yard run in the second half. He's a fun one to play.
You want to should we lock this one in and then we could add a 5
Yeah.
to it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right,
Then we'll add a Bryce Young thing and I don't know.
And a Thielen thing probably.
All right, I just posted this in the chat. We got Chuba higher 4.5 receiving yards, Terrace Marshall lower 11.5 receiving yards, DJ Moore higher 76.5.
We could add a Bagent passing yard thing to correlate with more. Or we don't really need to go that heavy on Bagent. We can just bet on more.
Yeah, because it's a target concentration play.
Yeah, right. Good call. Agreed. So Bryce Young, either attempts or completions. Pat and I don't care, Pete.
I'm open to either. Do you have a preference, Pete?
Man, I feel like he's like tucking and running it a decent bit to where I'd almost rather go completions than attempts.
Okay.
And then do you want to just correlate it with Thielen?
With Thielen, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yard. Okay.
It's Thielen and Chuba's receiving
75.
yards.
I actually like this one. This one's fun.
Do you what about the negative correlation with Bryce and then Marshall? Although if it's completion,
because we're playing it as Strachan. We're saying Strachan get some run.
All right. There you go. Here's another one.
Do you want to tweak this? Do a third?
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
We went like today, guys. We got some.
What do you want on the? How do you want to tweak it?
More Frankie Louvu.
The thing is they only have the assist number, which doesn't feel like
no, yeah, I don't
no, that's not good.
When he tackles, and then you're like, oh no, it wasn't assist. That doesn't feel fun.
We're not doing that. No. I mean, Bagent. Somebody said Bagent rushing yards in the chat. Like that's kind of interesting. He's been moving around.
Yeah.
Teabag is that? That's the
yeah, that's Ian's been calling him teabag too.
Oh,
which ones do we want to take out? Like the Thielen, Bryce Young, and then try something around that?
Maybe take out Marshall because that would
take out Marshall. We don't need to have Marshall in there and everything.
Keep the Bryce Young completions.
Keep the Bryce Young completions.
Or do attempts this time or
yeah, we could do that.
Well, let's see what it's correlated with. I'd almost rather correlate something with Chicago.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, just do his yards. Bagent's yards. Yeah, because I mean, if
what else rushing yards? Yeah, I like that. Oh, you want to
get like? Yeah, I mean, if Moore were to get like 50 or 75 yards in the second half and to have a 100-yard day, like
yeah, good point.
Bagent would be well.
You want to correlate Kmet with it? He's 16.
Sure.
Wow, they just rugged us on.
They raised on us, man.
God.
You gotta accept it, Pete. It's already in.
Oh, I'll gladly accept it.
These are the rules.
Let's get a lower.
We're going.
In here
This is the one where we're saying Carolina actually does continue to lead the game a little bit. Bagent, Kmet, Moore.
Yeah,
because we can't play Chicago's running backs, so we kind of just have to pick the script.
No, we don't. They're not giving us any Chicago running backs. We don't. The menu.
Oh, but so wait, we could take. Are there any unders on the defensive side? Because this is going to be mostly a passing.
You want a Jack Sanborn sweat?
I don't even know.
He's like a brutal sweat.
Did you mean under on Carolina's D?
Yeah, I meant Carolina.
Oh, I thought you meant on Chicago's D.
He meant the Frankie Louvu under.
You want middle the Louvu?
Is there middle Frankie Louvu?
Yeah, let's middle Louvu.
Can you just trying to figure out the full fucking game if it was a full tackle or an assist? Sounds middle.
No, dude, if we middle
Louvu, The
We
play is
definitely
Marshall's
know ball.
under again.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
the play
I
is
agree.
Marshall's under again.
Yeah.
Okay. But what if I don't want to have Chuba higher than in this slip.
Okay.
And the number went up.
It's
Like if we're
5.5.
playing this more through the Chicago rolls and
Do you want to do the
Carolina's
Chuba
struggle.
rushing?
Then that I wouldn't mind that more if we're
Yeah,
playing.
yeah.
force
Do
the
it.
pass.
Do it. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
All right.
Love that.
I don't feel as dialed in as we've been in previous weeks.
No,
me neither.
God, this game's horrible. We don't even have the running backs on one side. Like,
Not financial advice. We're just blasting off. Sweating.
I know we're asking you to stick with us for the rest of this game, but it's a terrible football game.
I'm gonna
guys.
force more
What a sell,
tequila.
Ben.
I'm gonna pour some more tequila.
I'm gonna go make some.
I'm gonna go. Well, I guess we can't all leave.
No, I'll be here.
I'll be here. Couldn't even give us the ASMR
you
for
say
it. That's how bad it is.
You say your parents are in town, Pat?
Yeah, my parents are here. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've had my parents are gonna be out for another shipcast in about a month or so.
Nice.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, it's a
coming
little bad because I'm like, hey, it's great to see you guys. Anyway, I'm gonna be narrating my long ass article. So
Oh
please
yeah, you got to
be
do
quiet.
that today.
Yeah, I got to do it. Brittany's cousin's also visiting, and she's going to be staying in this room, and so I'm like, I don't know where I'm gonna do the rest of the work. It's all written, but I need to finish narrating it. So yeah, it'll be
Dude,
quite the night.
just book a fucking hotel for the night. Go record it.
I don't know. I guess yeah.
Yeah, it's
could
a
do
great
that.
idea. No.
I mean, there's a living room. What I actually am going to do is go into the living room and use my laptop and record it there.
I don't know why this question is making me laugh. Are y'all's parents into fantasy because of you? No, they most certainly are not into fantasy.
My dad asked me about the NFL a lot now.
Yeah.
he likes to. He's like, what surprised you?
I
was like,
think I did it a couple times ago that my parents were here. Or they were here for when the Dolphins just boat raced the Broncos, and dropped. And I didn't have Dolphin stuff in DFS. And my mom literally had just like the most accidental needle of all time. So she was like, she's trying to figure out how fantasy works. And she's like, so if you would have had a lot of Dolphins, you would have made a lot of money today. I was like, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Mom.
Oh man. God.
Kevin Tompkins, who I did see in the Discord last night mentioning he did order Taco Bell. He says DoorDash accidentally gave me somebody else's order in addition to my own from Taco Bell. Thriving, although nacho fries are no good. Wow. Are you sure it wasn't Ben Gretch's order from about a month ago? That
I was
showed
gonna say,
up
talk to
your
Ben
house?
first. Get him to order some better stuff.
I heard that. I think it may have been.
All right, so Panthers got the ball here. That's
sure
probably
did.
good. Probably good for us.
We have a lot of action down. I feel like everything could be good or bad for us at this point.
I feel like, it's just the biggest thing, right? We need Chuba. Chuba one way or another, right? We need some Chuba in our lives. We need Deontay Foreman to be healthy. And we need someone to chuck it. We need one of these two teams to chuck it. And then if those running backs do stuff, we're okay.
Bryce, how about
Go
you?
to Chuba.
That was not a completion.
See, that is an attempt.
We should not attempt.
See, that's why I wanted attempts, guys.
It's a lot of attempts.
Unfortunately, we should have done attempts, Pat.
Glass brother, dude. Glass
Cheers,
brother.
buddy.
Cheers,
brother.
glass brother.
Those are sick glasses, guys.
They are.
I'll send you the Crate and Barrel link, bud. Elevate your domesticated game.
I do have a mustache.
For
Chat-
November, you're not
chat can't tell.
Wait, hang on a second.
No, Arthur Smith cut it. Oh, Miles Sanders.
So
First carry of the second
did he
half, not
shave?
great.
Is he just trolling everyone
Yes.
now? Did he shave it for Movember?
Literally
Yeah.
shaved it right.
That's
when
why I grew it
November
out
hit.
because I can't have the same facial hair as Arthur Smith. That was the rule.
But isn't Movember for like cancer? Isn't that what it's
yes,
about?
it's a legitimately good cause that is like an international thing now. And Arthur Smith conveniently cut his mustache right as that was starting.
So he's God. I wrote about Smith a little bit this week. I'm pretty.
You got something to add
I'm
to it
pleased.
when you go back.
I'm pleased with myself. Yeah, now I've got the Movember thing. No, I'm not gonna. As someone who can't grow a mustache, I'm gonna not.
Here you
throw
go,
in
Pat.
Marshall?
Pat,
No, that's
I got.
was that Terrace Marshall or was that straight 86? This is a thesis.
I don't know, but it was
type
an
thing.
attempt though. I know
God,
that.
you guys are.
But they punted. The point was they need to actually move the dang ball.
No, the point is a 3 and out could be worth 3 attempts and 0.
This is
completion.
actually where I wish Bryce Young was more like Zach Wilson, who checked it down fabulously to Michael Carter like 19 times at the end of that game.
Yep.
That was the Straken guy. So Terrace Marshall
Okay.
was not on the field there. Our under for Marshall looking
Yeah.
intriguing.
Pat, I got the line for you, dude. You say this on the walkthrough. This one's on the house. You go, Movember? How about Mo targets for Bijan Robinson?
Oh God, guys, how good was Jake Trowbridge's thing over at?
So
That was so good.
He's so talented. That guy.
was so
Oh my
funny.
God.
You know why?
I mean,
you know why it's so good? Because it's a little disturbing. Like he actually, like if you're gonna do that Joker thing, you actually
That's
need
big.
to
You gotta
feel like
lean
a
into
little
it.
like
It's- And you've done a lot of these bits, and like somebody referenced the McCaskey thing the other day. The McCaskey thing wasn't good. Like I tried to like do a little bit of a like whatever, like a personality thing with it, and then all. Listen, Matt, have a seat.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna roll the whole clip. I just wanted to give people a little
Seriously,
flavor
Pat.
because it's still in the StreamYard hopper. You know,
That's
it's just so
amazing.
easy to click.
It's you gotta like the actual stuff that you have to say to do this. You guys are so freaking talented at it. Jake is incredible because like he's like, how do you have like a script or something to follow, but also stay in character? And it's like, I mean, it was perfect. It was so good, like very high level skit.
it was very good.
All right. Speaking of Yo Quiero Taco Bell, it's Steph Miller and Bella, the breakout star of the Shipcast. Sorry, Robert Mays, move aside. Bella is here.
Bella's not happy.
Oh my goodness. How you doing, Steph?
I'm good. How are you guys?
You
Doing
know,
good.
we're doing good. You know, we're getting through the game. You know, one segment at a time, one completion / pass attempt at a time.
Getting through the game.
Yeah, this game's brutal.
It is. But Bella is bringing an enjoyment and brightening up our lives as Deontay
Ooh!
Foreman.
Oh,
Pass
one-handed
flat.
catch.
It's beautiful.
That's a half point.
Real quick, Steph. I didn't get to address. There was a debate breaking out in the chat about nacho fries. Do you or Bella have takes on are nacho fries good or bad?
What do you think, Bella?
Bella?
Bella says she likes him, but I've never had him, so I really can't comment.
Okay, Bella. Let's see here. God, Bella's so cute.
Beautiful.
She's kind of looking like a bit like Taylor Heineke on Halloween right now, if you know what I mean. A little deer in the headlights.
A little deer in the headlights.
Steph, tell us
Love
about week 10. What was going on the waivers? It was obviously Keaton Mitchell season who popped up on the injury report today.
Not everywhere because we had him for $1 in a couple spots last week. Thanks, Steph.
That's right.
One spot. We had a lot of him before when he was on IR, like right before he was going to come off. And then we dropped him when he got re-injured.
Goodness. That is the best case.
Barrels
for
of
best
churning.
ball. Yeah, it's just you get these guys locked on your lineup. I never had a chance to drop Trey McBride in best ball. You know, he's just still on your team. That's the beauty of it.
We dropped.
what
Sean
else were you
pointed out
seeing
to
out
me. Sean pointed out to me we dropped him in Chasing Stolen Bananas. Our team. We dropped both Kyler Murray and Trey McBride.
Wow.
Really good team.
It is. It's a great team. Steph, what else was going on in the waiver streets this week?
Well, I mean, that was the big one. And then we did get quite a bit of Ty Chandler, who was probably the second best running back available. And then there was a lot of Noah Brown. And I mean,
Wow.
I was surprised at the price he was. I mean, I was surprised at a lot of the prices, but yeah, I saw him go for a little over 200 in a few spots.
That's wild.
I mean,
Noah Brown?
Yeah. Look, I'm a Cowboys fan. Noah sucks. Like, I was watching a lot of Noah Brown. And, like, he is not good. But, I mean, Nico was on the injury report, but I think he's okay. So, like, you know, we were kind of talking about that.
There's a chance he might miss.
Now is okay. I didn't get a chance to recheck.
Yeah, but still, like Noah Brown had like 6 targets last week. If he doesn't have a 75-yard TD, which I mean he did have, but it was a big part of his whole day. I wrote him up in signals as pretty clearly the 4th most important part of their passing game. Even if Collins misses, you kind of say Tank and Dalton Schultz are more important than Noah Brown, right? Like,
yeah,
he can't separate. I mean, he never has been able to. Like, he's not a good receiver.
The one thing, you know, as people were saying, and with Nico missing, like even with Robert Woods' return, like he is going to play probably like the Nico Brown or the Nico Collins role, right? Like more on the outside and stuff. So
but he's
like,
played a lot of slot, actually, Noah Brown.
Has he? Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Noah, well, like Noah catches, if you know what I mean.
That is how you tag my Movember joke right there. Yeah.
Are you?
What was your take, Steph, on the Keaton Mitchell stuff? Like fool's gold, and like let's set aside the recent injury thing. Let's just talk about it. Like before then, did you like him as a pay up spot here?
I mean, I do. I mean, how can you not? If we've like watched that, and then we saw like what A-Chain did. I mean, we love those little explosive guys, and I mean, this backfield has been ambiguous the whole year. You know, we've been waiting for more stuff to happen. It seems like, you know, Gus is going to always get his touches. He's going to have more of the goal line role, you know, if Lamar's not taking stuff. But, I mean, he was, you know, just a little spark plug. And he's been great in college. He was a really fast guy. He was one of the most explosive players in college as well. I put it in there. It was a crazy stat where he had like 20% explosive play. Like he was tied as like the number 1 guy with like the most explosive plays over his college career in this class.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was undrafted. Like, it's kind of surprising, honestly. Like the more I dug into him, I mean, I knew him a little bit. I have him on a dynasty squad, but yeah, the more I look at him, I'm like, okay, this guy's, I mean, he's not very big, but he's a good player.
And if you just think like macro holistically, and if you don't get caught up in like the depth chart and, you know, Gus Edwards is looking good, it's like, what are the things you want to invest in right now that could absolutely scorch down the stretch, right? You want electric players in good offenses. And Keaton Mitchell's an electric player who plays on the Ravens, you know? So like, to me, that seems like simple calculus of a guy you should be interested in, because if there isn't it, like if something happened to Gus Edwards, and I think that's the thing people get tripped up on, right? Where they're like, well, he's not going to be the lead back. And it's like, you can still add him as a contingent back. It's the same reason why we're adding Ty Chandler, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not.
It's a super smart
touches. It's
a super smart, simple calculus. I just wanted to highlight that. That's a great call. Like explosive, good offense. It's that simple. Because we don't know what's going to happen.
It'd be hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami has 3 backs, possibly 4 if you count Ogden. And, you know, I mean, just saying there's other backfields with multiple guys that we're not attributing the same thing. Like you say, we want these pieces of good offenses, and especially these guys that are so explosive that they don't need a lot of touches to break off a big play. You know, I mean, at this point, you're looking for something, and there's a lot
hate the
more
way Bryce Young is in the pocket. What is he doing?
Know.
He's like, he does this he did like a little salsa move. He was like, and then he immediately gets sacked. Like, what's the point of that?
I mean, at least he's moving. Zach Wilson would have just stood there until he got hit.
He's moving like he's trying to like do like a dance partner move with the guy. Like, oh,
did you just see the tight window throw he had to Raheem Blackshear in double coverage for a 3-yard gain?
For a 3-yard gain? Yeah. Really beautiful stuff. Like, what's the point? What are you trying to do? Like,
I don't know why I talked us into completions. That was real dumb. I've been talking about how their receivers are.
I was in on completion.
The receivers are so bad. Like, why would we do that?
Incompetence. We got to bet on incompetence with the test.
Yeah.
I missed out on that part of the halftime. I didn't get any of that one, but I did get a couple of the others. So
nice.
Steph, how's your Scott Fishbowl team doing? Still first place here, I see.
Yeah.
First place.
Well, I'm first place in my division. I actually forgot to write because I was like rushing to get everything done. And I was like, oh no, I didn't write the little blurb.
I think everyone assumed you meant first place overall. We're like, oh, yeah.
No,
Nothing else need to be said.
Yeah, I'm 18th overall still. I think I held steady. So I still only lost the 1 week. So, I've secured a playoff spot because 13 wins going in get you a playoff spot. So
nice.
I have a legitimate chance. We'll see.
There you go. This was kind of a rough week for us. I know we had a lot of players impacted on bye, lots of Jags, lots of Niners. We did pull out a crazy win in chasing stolen bananas. You highlighted here. This is our team with Sean Siegel. We do have CMC and Travis Etienne on this team. We scored less than 100 points in one. Was it all because of the Browns defense, Steph?
Yes.
Pretty much. I mean, I was like, I looked at it. I was like, they started what? And I was like, how the hell did they win? Like, here. I mean, here, Strong, Sullivan, Ahmed. I mean, well, when you had to start Kendra Miller, he actually scored more points than them.
There was a lot of debate about. Yeah, a lot of Kendra Miller discourse this week, and his 4 points. I mean, we were fist
31-yard reception. Yeah.
Yeah, I played Ken Walker in mine, and he got 2 points. That was fun.
Yeah, Kendra Miller over Ken Walker all day.
Yeah.
Our mini-sodes team here is a really fun team. This was the very first slow draft.
It's such a ship-chasing team where it's like, it's true zero running back. It's kind of got some interesting stuff happening at running back, but it always feels like we're like, but in 2 weeks, this could look horrendous at running back. But the receivers are just so good.
Yeah, this is the team. So we had obviously AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb and Deontay Johnson, but we also had Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and DK Metcalf. Like, who are we even starting this week? There's so many good. Yeah.
I think I moved Metcalf to the bench because he's like a little banged up.
I missed practice today, which is interesting. Yeah.
No,
AJ Brown is on bye.
He was back. I think I'm going to make Metcalf the cover boy of the walkthrough. So I'm going to be pounding the table to get Metcalf.
So we have AJ Brown on bye, and I took Metcalf out because he's banged up, and I didn't put Deebo in because I didn't know he was good yet. And here's our receivers still. Good. When those three guys are on the bench, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison.
I think Metcalf over Addison pretty easily.
Pat, DK Metcalf did miss practice today with a hip. I just confirmed that because I saw that. Yeah, he was. It popped up today, and Tyler Lockett and Kenneth Walker practiced in full.
One of their beat writers said he saw him at practice today. Bob Condata said he was at practice today.
The Seahawks added star wide receiver DK Metcalf to the practice report Thursday with a hip injury. He did not practice, is what I saw.
Yeah. This also says he did.
He said he was visible late. Bob Condata said he was visible later. That's what I had seen. Okay. Well, maybe I might have to change the cover boy if he's hurt.
But I will.
So he was there but didn't participate. Condata's saying he was there.
He had said it was probably a rest day because he'd been kind of on and off the injury report.
Well, JSN and Walker missed yesterday on a rest day.
JSN is fine from what I read.
They did a bunch of weird stuff last week with their injury report too. So I'll have to dig into more. I just think this sets up really, really well for Metcalf, assuming he's like.
Well, we can't sit. We can't sit CeeDee.
Nope.
Oh, let's go Foreman. I'm so glad that Foreman is back, guys. I just like the tilt of losing a guy to injury is like if we just make bad picks, that's one thing. But when you lose it to injury, that's another.
And he's got to be getting close to going over, right?
Yeah.
Going higher on the.
Let me check.
We just need him to punch this in, and then we don't have to.
Because he's got 2 catches for 12, so that's 2.2, and then 55. He's at like 7.7-ish, and he only needs to get to like 9-ish. There's a Komet catch. We had him for some yards.
Yeah, I'll
That's
pull this up
been
in a sec.
always
before-
doing a lot with Baggett.
Yeah. Are you calling him? Are you on the teabag train, Steph? You calling him Baggett? You calling him a baguette?
Whatever works. I luckily don't have to watch the Bears very often. They're never broadcast.
That's the
By
way
me.
to do it. The way to do it.
Foreman.
There we
Foreman.
go.
Come on, buddy.
Was
Look at
Frankie
that.
Luvu?
So that was bad. We
Oh,
picked
Luvu's
up
over here.
Herbert in a league, and I'm like trying to figure out what's going on with Khalil. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on because, I thought he was maybe going to start and then didn't.
That's
No.
crazy that someone dropped him. I mean, I know Foreman's looking good, but that still doesn't feel like a guy that should be dropped.
Well, someone
Are they
dropped
doing the
Connor
touch
right before he got let
Oh,
off IR.
Cole-
That was
Cole Kmet tush push for a first down just now. That was
Wow.
interesting. DJ Moore's hire's good.
Yep.
The Mooney under's looking good. Thielen oh god, he's still a ways off. We got to get
Foreman's 1.55 away.
yeah, he's good. Chuba and Thielen. We got to get some Panthers draft.
Thielen hasn't had any more catches.
I know because they haven't
early.
played much offense. Like this team is like they've only run 30 total plays at this stage of the game. Like they need to run some damn plays.
I was so off of Thielen and everything, and then I finally played him the last couple of weeks in DFS, and he hasn't done shit. And then we take his hire, and he's screwing us. No,
I hate to admit this to everyone, but the thesis behind us putting him in our pick 'em entry was to mush him once and for all.
it was to help our
the
best
only
ball.
way to slow him down.
Yeah,
The
we have.
only way.
And I'm too much. I'm driven too much by like passion. I was like, I can't, guys. I need it on the
Gretch
record, but I don't want
hated
to be rooting for
having you there,
Thielen.
yeah.
I don't want to do Thielen.
But Gretch,
He really
even
did not
stealing
want to.
signals, you had to get in the end zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
one.
There we
That
go.
one.
That's great for the game script too.
That's great for the script.
That's great for everything.
Great.
Man,
Let's
Good
go.
for the best ball
Oh.
shares.
I
Yes.
immediately started thinking about like what do we have in a lot of different spots. I never put him in that lineup, Pete, that we messaged about. But I bet he didn't get into that lineup.
What, the Penta
The
one?
Hassan, the Penta one. with
No, Hassan
played
said
it.
he put him in.
Yeah, he's in our lineup. Let's go.
Yeah,
Nice.
because
I
I
didn't see
checked
that.
because I was like, I was
Yeah.
good with it.
Nice.
Who were you deciding between?
Tyler, you can hump your own leg.
Jahan
Foreman
Dotson
and
is
Jahan
on the team.
Dotson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
makes
team's got
sense.
really good running backs. It's got Bijan and Brees Hall and
Mm.
Ramondre and Foreman. So we played 4 running backs in the end.
So it's pretty much got the same running backs as on every team that you guys have.
So yeah, who's got the one? We have the running back.
You're figuring it out. It's the same team everywhere. We're trying to
That's how
make
we
your
look at
job
it.
easy.
It's
We
true.
draft the exact same team.
Did we have any Foreman at halftime? I like literally can't
They didn't
remember.
get-
no, because they didn't have it
didn't
up, right?
They didn't put anything up.
Yeah.
I wanted it so bad. I thought I was
I
like,
know.
I blasted the memories out of my mind.
Ugh.
I'm gonna grab a beer.
Any other takeaways, Steph, from the high stakes portfolio this week?
I mean, we're getting close. So, we got a few teams that look like, they got really good chances, and a couple others that are close that are sweating it, and some that probably
What-
aren't going to get there.
When are we going to get into playoff optimization territory? Starting to talk some defensive
Yeah.
streamers who were stashing on the bench.
That's kind of, I mean, right now, I think, anybody that is, your upside, anybody that's an injury away running back wise, young guys, it's not a bad idea to handcuff your own players if you have a really strong team going in case you get some injuries, if you have room for it. But yeah, some young guys, maybe that you think, could take that, rookie ascent into the second half of the season. Hopefully QJ would be, a good guy, that he's still got some opportunity. We'll see. I want to believe that Sauce
Can we
wins
all
a hard
This is
matchup.
make
and
or break week for QJ, right? Like
It's
there's
got to
no
be.
after this week. Everything lines up for him.
Yeah.
I
Last
think every
week
week has
we
been a
could
make
give
or
him-
break week for him.
The Jets' pass defense is good. Herbert threw for like
Sauce was
130
like
yards.
covering him, like
If he
following
has
him
a
around.
bad week,
Come on.
I think
we'll
it's set
do
up well
another-
for Keenan is how this week looks to me. I'm like, this is a good Keenan week at this point.
Oh,
If he's
every
bad
week's a
this
good
week-
I'm
Keenan
not
week.
high on QJ heading into this week. I don't want to become that guy. I'm just saying this is the last. There's no more excuses after this week, is my point.
I think next
So
week
we're
might
allowed to
be a
drop
make
him
or break week.
everywhere after this week.
That's fine.
I was
I-
actually going to drop him.
I'm
before
just kidding.
West.
I mean, it depends
Yeah.
who we're dropping it for, but
No, I mean, there's so much opportunity, and he was a first round pick. There's just there's something
Yeah.
to be said for just
You
like
know he's a
letting-
hold when Leone didn't want to let us drop. QJ.
Exactly.
If
I mean, because
Leone-
Josh Palmer went to IR. We got it. We probably do have
Yeah,
to wait
exactly.
for Josh Palmer to get off
Yeah.
IR.
He's with Justin Herbert. He's a first round pick. They fucking need someone so bad. So
Yeah.
Jalen Guyton. No.
Yeah. Oh man. if
the
Jalen
tough part
Guyton
about the
gets
play is that
around-
QJ definitely stinks.
Yeah.
But he's gonna
He's-
run a lot of routes the next few weeks.
He's gonna
But
run
they
a lot
don't
of
play
routes.
him. They keep playing him as like a
QJ.
super deep threat, and he's like better at just getting yards after the catch. Like
Yeah,
maybe not play him as. I mean, I feel like they could
Right.
scheme him better.
Yeah, they,
it was
agree
bad
with
for him
this.
that Mike
It's a
Williams
great
went
take.
down in a sense. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's not who he
Look
is.
at
He's not Mike
Chipsy's-
Williams.
Chipsy's comment. QJ, aka Quite Jover.
QJ, Chipsy, those of us with
Another temp
heavy
there. Another temp for
JSN
Young.
bags aren't allowed to make.
That's
these
not
jokes.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not laughing.
Pat, the attempts was the right play, man. It's definitely the right
He's
play.
gonna have 45 attempts and 3 more
I know.
completions this half.
We're not gonna get the completions. We are gonna get the
No,
attempts.
the completions is dead.
It was 12
Where
or 7.
is Chuba?
The difference
Where's
was
Chuba?
5 incompletions. He's already thrown 3 of them. So yeah.
That's a good question.
Feed Thielen.
Did Chuba get hurt? Or did they
I don't
just
think
hate him?
so.
They might
Is
hate
He
him.
was in on the last.
Okay.
Come on.
Look at that completion.
Oh, that was.
Oh
okay.
yeah. Oh, that's
There we
Terrace
go.
Marshall.
Oh crap!
Wait,
Shit.
what's the number on Marshall?
I think it's 11 and a half, and that was 11. That was 11.
Was it?
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
no!
We're still
Pull it
live.
up.
Oh, sorry. I had it. I have it up. I
That
just
looked
didn't
like an
have the
11
screen
yarder, and if I recall, it was 11 and a half. Lower 11
Yes,
and a half. He's
11.
at 11.
Yes.
Wow.
No more.
Oh my gosh!
That's
Thielen.
Thielen. We need a Thielen catch.
Let's
There we
go.
go. We got
Rich,
some
he's doing-
completions going.
He's doing the Zach Wilson. He's doing a reverse Zach Wilson. He stares at the running back and he doesn't throw it, and then he like whips his head and throws downfield. It's pretty wild.
Which direction does he run though?
I mean, whatever. Look somebody off.
Let's
at
get
least. I don't
Sanders
care if
out of
it's
there.
screen. Yeah,
This
why
is
is Sanders
ridiculous.
playing in the no huddle?
I hate it.
You looked right at Thielen.
Oh,
Oh, he went
right.
through some progressions there and then bailed. He tried some things. There's another incompletion. Pat, we get it. God, you don't have to make that noise.
Listen, man, this isn't me. Your issues with Bryce Young, okay?
We get it. You were right. Okay, I can hear you in my head.
At least he feels the pressure though. Like he seems to be aware that they're coming at him.
He does. He normally doesn't. He does seem to be feeling the pressure right now.
Yeah.
which
He's
is
So
really in
unfortunate.
his bag right now.
That
is what I would say.
improvement.
He's really feeling himself.
It's bad because it's like this is as good as I've seen him play.
And it's not very
Blaze
good.
looking at the live lobby. We have a Luvu live solo tackles live line. I mean, I'm in. Let's keep building.
Oh,
them.
we can do
got
solo now?
More Frankie Luvu.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Panthers wide receiver Adam Thielen just became the 5th undrafted player in the common draft era with at least 600 career receptions. That seems like a completely overfitted fact. The 5th undrafted player in the common draft era with at least 600 career
So
receptions.
here's a question: who are the other 4? I don't know. Was Steve Largent undrafted? I feel like that was part of his
Fucking
story. He's a
man.
Hall of Famer receiver. No, he was a
Yeah.
4th round pick. I made that up.
That's what I like to hear, Johnny. Let's get him to 603.
Yeah, there we go.
That's how you do
Jimmy
it.
Smith. There you go. Kevin's got one. Jimmy Smith was. There it is. Oh,
Is that Chuba?
Oh,
he forgot how to catch. Welker was drafted, was he not?
I think Chuba was in there.
Oh, yeah. Well, Adam Thielen
Chuba was
dropped
undrafted? No.
it. Ooh, no. Welker
No, sorry. I
was
think Chuba was
undrafted.
in the game there.
Thielen get to 603 catches and then retire.
Edelman was the 7th rounder. Welker's correct. Jimmy Smith, I believe, is
Tremble's
correct as
in
well.
there. Dylan.
Oh no,
Who
he was
else
a
do we
second
have?
round pick.
Gretch is
Jimmy
trying to do a
Smith with
sporkle
Cowboys.
without the sporkle right now.
I'm playing Sporkle on my own with the chat. So Welker's the only correct one we've gotten so far, guys.
Oh,
Complete.
There it is. Oh, that's not
Who is
Thielen.
that?
That's Mingo.
that's
Jonathan Mingo.
Mingo.
You got to go for
Way to
that.
get the rookie.
Well, at
ball.
least it was not Marshall.
Go for it. Go for it. You're moving the ball for the first time all game. Show some guts.
It
right?
looks like they might.
Oh
No,
god.
come on.
Are you
cowards.
kidding me? Cowards.
Oh, I saw people picking up
Charlie
OBJ,
Hennigan.
too.
That's a made up name.
You guys are sick. Dude, this is like, how do you not go for it here? That is egregious.
Oh.
Charlie Hennigan only had 410 catches, but was an undrafted wide receiver. What the hell, Chipsy? You just made this up. This guy played in the 60s. He's undrafted and was close to being correct. Had 100 catch season. Where did that come from? Never heard of this guy. I'm impressed. Chipsy knows ball.
Oh, Steph.
This game.
Who do you think regrets this more, Steph? You agreeing to manage all of our waivers or us agreeing to live stream every Thursday night football game?
Probably you guys. No, I'm kidding.
Rod Smith. Shaq got Rod Smith.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm
I
playing
just want to know
Sporkle
who's
with
in
the chat.
charge of scheduling. Like, they just need to schedule better games.
Brittany's cousin's
Those
here,
Highland ones.
and she was like asking me about. I went to grab the beer, and they're like, "Oh, how's it going?" I was like, "It's going good. The game's real bad." And she's like, well, "Who are you rooting for?" I was like, "I don't care who wins. Like, I'm just rooting for players." And she's like, "Oh, like, well, if the game's bad, like, which players are cute at least?" And I was like, "I think it's pretty ugly teams too." I don't think I got anything for you there.
Here's the thing, though, guys.
Did you tell her about Jason Kelsey, though?
Oh, that
I
would
didn't tell
have.
them
No, and I'm sorry. As a girl, I don't see that one. I don't see why he's the sexiest man alive.
Go off, Queen.
Just-
I'll say this: if we would have done Shipcast for Dolphins Chiefs, would have been terrible. We did Shipcast for Bengals Bills, would have been lackluster. It's almost it would have been more tilting to have this like incredible matchup, and then it just be a sad trombone. Versus at least we knew going into this game that it was going to suck. All the
That's
island
true.
games have a problem. The NFL has a product problem. I mean, red zone is the only thing that saves it.
Red zone saves it for sure. And honestly, I think that might just be Scott Hansen. Like, he's so good.
Yeah.
Because in the hands of not Scott Hansen, red zone is not as good.
No.
There's just no way.
Getting back to the Jake Trowbridge conversation, I mean, what Scott Hansen that's so hard to do what he does.
It's the energy. It's not too much energy. It's not enough energy. It's just,
and he's got people in his
dialed in.
ear. Like I don't know where I was recently telling the story about when I did some live TV with CBS, and like when they were in my ear, it was hard. Pete, you do Sirius now. I did Sirius as well. Like when they're telling you the commercial break's coming, I stopped talking to listen, and I'm like, wait, how much time do I have to like counting down? It's like, how do you finish your sentence? Like,
yeah, no, I've done a little, and like they'll talk. You'll be talking, and they're like 5, 4, 3. And you're like, yeah, I know how numbers work.
Yeah, I know how numbers work.
I couldn't do that. That would
Let me guess. You're gonna say 2 next.
no.
Oh man, I don't know how Scott Hansen could possibly do that. I mean, these guys are so talented.
Yeah, they're
So
asking
we,
if Hansen could get into the Hall of Fame. He should. I don't know what the rules are there, but he should.
No, definitely.
He's done more for, and I think he's done more for the NFL than almost like any other broadcaster.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Betting also helps the games in the NFL.
For sure.
Without having a sweat, I don't know how you could do it.
So 2 things. Next week could actually be fun. Let's get T. Higgins back, but we got Ravens Bengals. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Those games always go one or two ways, right? It's either like a gross divisional slog or like a full-blown shoot.
I'm optimistic on that. I think that'll be good.
Even if it's gross, you're talking about probably like good, interesting, gross. Like you have the Ravens defense probably doing some cool scheme things. You have Louis Anarumo, who Robert Mays was talking about a bunch, doing some interesting scheme things. it's good players playing good football. It's not this like what we're watching right now.
Someone asked in the chat, so our schedule for Thursday, so we will not be doing a Black Friday game, but we will have our quintessential Wednesday ship chasing drunken day before Thanksgiving live stream. So we get a bunch of our friends on, we'll get Spags and Lord Reeves and everyone we get coming rolling through, and we build DFS lineups, we'll do drafts, throw some cocktails back. It'll be a grand old time.
Sounds amazing.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with us, but I always just love the Yoni Dink where they get drunk for the Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's the playoff challenge Friday night episode.
Yeah.
No, their Thanksgiving episode.
Their Thanksgiving,
This isn't. I'm not plugging ship chasing. I'm just saying a thing I like.
Adam complains about Thanksgiving food.
Well, I
He hates
had
Thanksgiving food.
one of the very first, one of the first shows I did with Leone was like the drunk Leone DFS build I did. This was back when I was doing my shows for Roto Grinders, and Leone got blackout.
Yeah,
like legit blackout. I was having to tell him where to put his mic. That's how. That was. Like,
that's when he wore all the hats and everything.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That was a fun one.
The Thanksgiving one was the one 2 years ago where Daigle passed out in his hotel room on camera. Like it was he was just there. That
was a fun one.
Nowhere to be found. Yeah.
We were a little worried that he was like still with us because it was, oh man, we needed, we got a penalty flag. It's probably on the defense. We need them to punt because we need Carolina to have the ball.
We need Chuba.
Yeah.
We really need Chuba.
Yeah, Chuba's boning us.
How many catches do we need for Thielen? 3?
I think we might need 2 more, or maybe 3. I think we need. Was it 6 or 6.5? Yeah,
6.5.
I think it was 6.5, and then
it was on the defense.
Chuba's looking
on the
pretty.
core. On the core, we need 3 more Thielen, and we need.
He switched it to pass interference offense.
Wow.
3rd and long. Called it on DJ Moore. Wow. That's good. They're gonna.
How are our fivers looking from the pregame?
Yeah. Clear pick play.
Pre-game fiver. So, all of these are going to have the core, right? So, like the Chuba and Thielen gets it there, provided Darnell stays lower than 28.
That was really bad.
Because we have, what's the under on this one?
What do you mean? On which one?
Oh, it's Darnell. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying if the core gets there, then this 5 pick is also likely getting there because it's
right.
But we need
what
a
about
lot
the
of
other
Chuba. The other fiver is the Tremble, but it's still everything. The other fiver is probably going to get there too. Lulu's already
that's
already
there.
Fucking Luvu.
So what is that?
Luvu was the biggest no ball. Just an easy.
We should have put him on the core, dude. We should have put him on the core.
Yeah.
It's just so much ball to know there.
That
was a bad call. DJ Moore's not happy.
No.
Just
basically,
Chuba,
if we get Chuba and Thielen, we could basically sweep. But the
it's
Chuba
not looking
one
great.
Feels
but it's possible if Thielen has a few catches, they drive down, and then Chuba gets a TD. I mean, that's a pretty easy way of getting it. Chuba's a long way out, but we need the Chuba TD to suck out. That's the way.
Look at this short field here.
We need 3 catches and a Chuba TD. That feels fairly live.
This punt was egregious. I mean, 40 yards for a Chuba TD.
This is big.
Look at this Bears guy. He's got a wearable.
This woman's angry.
Steph,
I'm hungry for some Taco Bell, guys.
Yeah, Gretch is gonna start ordering some Taco Bell. I'm gonna let you get out of here so you don't have to be subjected to a front row seat to our tilting. But anything else you would like to tell the good people? Obviously, they need to subscribe to Fabulous. It's now a 2-parter. You get the home league edition out earlier in the week, and then you get the high stakes version later. I got that link down below. Anything else?
No, just keep an eye out. I'll try to put some playoff strategy stuff in there, and maybe I'll never know what I'll write up. I'll give you some thoughts about
that sounds
everything going on. No.
All right. Maybe
I don't have anything. I'm just trying to, stir it up.
maybe a day in the life of Bella, like a little write-up
Ooh.
post could be fun. How about something like that?
There's a hold. Shit. That's not how we needed this to start.
It is Steph Miller. Subscribe to her newsletter. Fabulous. I have the link down below. Steph, always great catching up with you. Thank you, as always, for all of your hard work on the waiver grind.
You're welcome, guys. All right. Well, let's hope we hit some of these pick'ems.
Let's do it. We'll see you, Steph.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Later.
He leaves too.
Good night.
Good night. We can't even close down the stream.
Yeah.
Clay's trying to get me to take a pull of whiskey. This is, it's a school night. I gotta take my kids to school tomorrow, buddy. Like, we're not drinking out of the fifth. This isn't draft.
Chuba.
Yeah. Ooh. That's some Chuba points. That's
What are
over.
these
That's
flags,
It's a
man?
flag. It's a flag.
ineligible downfield there. Had to have been, right? That was a slow developing rip a bong crunch. That I can survive in the morning. That's a more likely scenario than me.
Smith marks that,
Offensive
man.
interference?
Pass interference, yeah. Similar shit. Right.
Bench him, dude. What has this guy ever done in his life other than return
really
a touchdown
frustrating.
that gave him their only touchdown of the game?
Why are you blocking already?
You don't have to do that.
Dude. That's also just a ticky-tacky
Yeah, he's.
call.
I think he's
I mean,
close enough to the line of scrimmage. Isn't that legal? Like, yeah, I'm not listening to the game, obviously, but doesn't have to
He
be
probably
down.
went half a yard too far or some shit.
go
Yeah,
Chuba.
okay, now Chuba's getting carries on 1st and 30.
I love 1st and 30. That's when the Panthers offensive playbook really opens up.
You can do anything
gonna
on 1st and 30. It's actually true that you can do anything on 1st and 30 because it goes back far enough where nothing matters anymore.
1st and 30, run it. What the fuck? I hate this so much. I was Samuel. You are my inner monologue right now.
But the thing that's cruel about that joke is even though you're completely right, you should be able to do anything. I feel like 90% of 1st and 30 play calls are an inside draw or handoff. It's like, let's just get 4 back and then we'll be fine.
But
Yeah.
no, yeah.
2nd and 26 is definitely fine.
And it should be the exact opposite. You should be attacking, obviously. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys that, but good Lord. Try to make it 2nd and 25 at least.
2nd and 25 is so much more manageable.
2nd and 27, you're not going to get there, guys.
I mean, you should be like, trying to pick up 15.
Yeah, you should be trying to pick up at least 12. I mean, do something. Don't just give up. And
One way to
where
think
they're
about
at-
it is we need 2 15-yard plays in the next 3 downs. So
Yeah.
let's try to get 15-yard
But
plays.
also, I was just going to say where they're at on the field, it's maybe 4-down territory because of that bad punt. They backed up, but if you can get like 24 yards in the next 3 plays, that 4th and 6 would be a go, I think. Maybe it would be a field goal at that point, but like you should be trying to get 24 yards in the next 3 downs, even if you can't get 30.
The other thing is that like we know Bryce Young's not really going to bring anything consistent to the table.
Except
So
a bunch
you
of
can't-
completions.
Yeah.
Well,
This guy's up to 11. He's up to 11 completions, Pat. Watch your mouth. He's up to 11 completions.
Yeah.
What do we need? 17 and a half or something? Good Lord. We're fucked.
Dude, I would accept
2nd and
that.
27 is a high completion down right here. We're getting a completion. Hopefully the Thielen for 5
more.
yards.
Easy game.
8 more. Oh, yeah.
I think we
the
can
next
get
2
there.
downs. Adam Thielen has 4 catches for 22 yards. That's a rushing line. What the
These
fuck?
ads feel so long that I'm wondering if the NFL is like canceling this game behind the scenes. It's like we can't no more.
This game's
Don't
so
ever
bad.
come
Pat's
back from
thinking about
commercial.
going to hang out with his parents right now.
I know, yeah. I desperately wish I was just.
You can take
We
your parents to
need-
a California burrito right now. Go for it.
We need a TD so bad.
Mm.
Oh my God, I was looking for my phone and I'm watching the game on it. Oh God, I've had some bad moments.
Wow. Maybe you shouldn't take a shot.
Oh God.
It's all right. This is what's going to happen. Chuba's going to suck out a TD. We're going to get
Bryce
there.
Young has
and then Thielen's
100.
going to come 1 catch short. That's what's gonna happen.
Bryce Young has 104 passing yards against the Bears, and 45 of it was that one pass to Straken that we went nuts on. The rest of the game.
Love that I was taking him over CJ Stroud in drafts. That definitely feels good.
There it is. There it is. Chuba. That's how you set up 3rd and 20. 3rd and 20? 3rd and 21? 3rd and 19?
3rd and 20 is very manageable.
That's a great play call because it gets the ball in the hands of one of your playmakers for completion.
That's
so
right.
I just think it's a good play.
We're so broken.
that's
We're getting Chuba exclamation marks after like
That's
a 3.5
right.
yard catch.
We
We're
need
all
it.
broken.
Yeah, man.
Take it.
I mean, he's 3rd and 17, guys. If they can get 11 yards here,
To Chuba specifically, I would say
11 yards puts you in go for it range. Let's go.
Yeah, right. We just watch it.
Yeah, start. I mean,
Come on.
encroachment.
Encroachment? Ben, you definitely drank whiskey.
I know. I drank a lot. I drank it like fast. It was bad. It's hit
Ben
me.
said
I was
false
gonna say-
start and then did this.
Yeah.
that was very bad, but
Pat, this is the real question. Your silence has been deafening. Have you had a California burrito from Ortiz's
no,
yet?
I haven't.
Come on, dude. Fix your life.
He's like, I'm living a pretty good life right now, actually. Things are pretty good.
Just
Take
haven't
your
had a burrito
family-
from Ortiz's yet.
For a California burrito.
Fix your life. 3rd and 12. Now they can get like 8 yards here and be in 4th and 4. And they'll probably kick if they do that. Oh, God.
Let Chuba cook, Bryce.
Chuba.
He's open.
Chuba.
Make a man miss. Make
All
6
right.
men miss.
There you go. 4th and 6. This was the target number. 4th and 6. Now we get the Frank Reich decision moment. You guys wanted to play Chuba's receiving, and I did not like that. It's gone over. You guys were right. That second half receiving is good for the second half builds. It's over. That's his 3rd catch, right?
Yeah, he's up to 4.9 fantasy points. That's.
I think that's pre-
He's up to 4.9.
No, that was his. I think that's pre his 3rd.
Oh, is that pre? Okay.
I think that was before that 3rd down catch. They are going for it. The 4th and 6 is live. Let's get it. Oh yeah.
Come on, Bryce. What's the
Thielen!
flag? There's 19 flags.
Oh my God, that's Tommy Tremble.
Don't
They're going
worry,
to
it's
decline
coming
it. It's like defensive
Who was
holding.
it?
It's going to get declined. Unless it's offensive pass interference. Tommy Tremble on a scramble drill in the 4th quarter.
2 fouls on the play. Oh no.
They're both
Tommy
declined.
Tremble. Tommy
The
Tremble.
Tremble.
Shit.
Did we play the over at halftime on Tremble? No, we didn't end up doing it, did we?
Tremble. Come on, Crutch.
Remember the 0.5 that we were talking about? That's the first thing you said at halftime. You were like, Tremble's down to 0.5.
Oh man. How many yards was that?
It was a lot. 11. He's up to 11.
Fuck.
What was it, 9.5?
Yeah.
Blackshear's in at running back now.
Find Thielen.
Why is Blackshear in? Why would you ever play Raheem Black? I mean, I get benching Miles Sanders because you like Chuba Hubbard, but Chuba Hubbard's like a really interesting back. Like, why are you going to your 3rd back?
All right. This is what we
He's
need.
off. He's off.
I'm
He's off. Who's coming
manifesting
in?
it, guys. Adam Thielen catch. Chuba punches it in. I just manifested it.
Ooh, that sounds great.
I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wait,
two
so
out.
someone was saying in the chat here that there was a better burrito place than this place you're saying I
No,
should need to
there-
go to.
Yeah, fuck off.
Joshua Frick says it's not the best.
Joshua
Wow.
Frick doesn't know burritos.
Look at that easy completion.
Oh,
Bryce
come
Young
on.
up to 15 completions. Ooh.
Yeah, but the Sanders, dude.
Mm.
Murphy's scratching. Hang on. Oh, you're scratching out there.
3rd and 5.
We do need a motherfucker.
This is Adam Thielen territory right here, if I've ever seen it.
This has been a good drive. We're back live on a lot of stuff, other than the Tremble. The Tremble catch wasn't great, obviously. Oh, catch the ball, meat.
Wow, I'm behind.
That was Terrace Marshall.
They're really going to kick a field goal here?
You can't kick a field goal here. You
if you're
absolutely
Doward.
donkeys. That's PI. That wasn't PI.
It makes no sense. What
That's
were you
terrible.
going for it?
No, because then the second field goal, and he's got to make them both because you can miss field goals, is just for the tie. The TD gives you a 1-point lead. There's a big difference
makes
between
no
forcing
sense.
OT and taking a lead.
I hope he should have missed it.
You would have missed that. Oh, God, yeah. What a terrible decision.
I thought Reich was a good coach like 3 years ago. It's been quite a fall from grace in my mind.
Dude, normally I like to think we can wait, what was this? Oh, never mind. Man. Yeah, this is actually what we need now is overtime. That's probably our savior. I'm so torn. Overtime for our pick'ems or not overtime so I can go to bed. Which one do I want more?
Bill Barnwell's tweet. I'm not usually fazed by low quality football, but calling a run on 1st and 30 might do it. It's a great tweet.
Man.
That's fantastic.
It's like the thing about the NFL that's so interesting is I feel like I get to it usually in May or June. I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like we have any totally like incompetent franchise. Like those idiots last year are gone now, and like everyone's at least okay. And now I'm like, God damn it. There's several franchises. And we already talked about Arthur Smith, but there's, Josh McDaniels loses the locker room immediately. And next year we're going to feel the same way, right? It's like now it's like they got replaced by decent coaches, and then new coaches will reveal themselves as donkeys. Happens every year.
Yeah, this is the question on everyone's mind. Kyler Murray back this week. Call of Duty's dropping at midnight tonight.
That is terrible timing.
It is just on it. Like it's such like a hack Kyler Murray storyline at this point, but it is beautiful that it's happening.
It's so good. It's almost like to honor him. It's almost like in honor of him now.
Yeah. It's like, here's the thing though. Does Kyler need what would he be doing otherwise? You want to watch film of Arthur Smith's team? Nah, he's good. Let him play fucking Call of Duty. Doesn't fucking matter.
He must play a lot of Call of Duty though.
I don't blame him. Live your life, bud.
I blame him a little if he's playing as much as it seems like he might be. Seems like he's getting in the way of some stuff.
Save the splash zone targets for Pat Crane. Let fucking Kyler Murray play Call of Duty.
I mean, I like video games too, man.
Do you?
Yeah. I like video games so much I don't have a system right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling you out on. You've never struck me as a video game dude.
No, I like them. But I like the big like open world games that like you just like get lost in forever.
You like to drop a bean and just get fucking lost in an immersive experience. How was Joshua Tree, by the way?
It was nice. Yeah, rock climbed for the first time. I'd done like some ropes course stuff, but never really. Yeah, it was sweet, dude.
Did you like the hooks and everything?
Yeah.
Or did you just
like fucking
free climb?
No.
Yeah.
No, I was because you're up pretty high, and it was like a legit. I think it was like pretty easy because, the handholds are like really nice. Like there's like the rock, there's whatever it's granite or something, right? But that particular face has like plenty of places where you can find a really good grip, and that makes it like a fairly easy climb. But like it's like pretty flat, and at the end to get to the top, you have to like there's a crack, and you have to jam your foot into the crack like sideways. Like you have to like get your foot up and like jam it in, and then get your other foot up, and now you're like spread eagle, and then you like gotta like hoist up while you're jammed into the wall, and then you gotta like scramble over and like you kiss the carabiners as like I made it. So yeah, but I'm like I was here and the carabiners were like here, and I was just like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna kiss these carabiners.
I'll blow a kiss.
Yeah, I literally at one point like did the tap and like tapped them, and I was like, no, fuck that. Like I got all the way up here, like I gotta scramble up. So I like got, and I'm like, I'm literally gonna fall, but it doesn't matter if you fall because like it doesn't matter realistically, but you're still like, I don't want to fucking fall off this wall. So
Yeah,
Brittany like scrambled up. I've never seen anything more nimble in my life. She was just like got all the way up. It was awesome.
Oh man.
Would
She
you
loved
say
it. She'd never done it either. She loved it.
Was your focus lacking because you dropped a bean before?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, none of this happened, but it was
An immersive
I've never
experience.
even been to Mount Vesuvius.
All of a sudden, we like smash cut to Pat in his living room with a VR headset on, and he's like, "We're just out of reach, man."
Oh man, that's pretty good.
Was it
So,
like a group thing? Like, did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So Brittany's friends who, when we moved out here, we through some of Brittany's friends, a couple that had moved out here like a year ago. They met a group out here, and two couples lived in the house that we're now renting, and so through this group is how we found the place that we're staying in, and they invited us out to Joshua Tree, and it was awesome. We stayed in an Airbnb because we just like did like a couple nights, but they were out there like camping from like Wednesday through Sunday. They do it like every year, so it was pretty sweet. Got to look at the stars. Jupiter was out. Took out the binoculars. You could see the Jupiter's moons and stuff. Pretty cool.
Nice, dude.
That's
Sounds
awesome.
nice.
Yeah. They just run it on 2nd and 10. We need a punt.
So
Did Komet
Yeah,
go over? I wanted to ask you
he
if
did.
Komet went
I was
over.
just gonna pull that up. So Komet went over. DJ Moore and Bagent though are still a ways off.
Yeah.
Bagent. I mean, we needed a Panther score there. That's why that fucking
Yeah.
field goal was so
I
tilting.
know. There was a deep shot, Bagent to Moore, and he just threw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
That was the play.
Brandon just burned me so good. Pat always starts as a mage, but ends up a stealth archer, which is so fucking true.
I don't
Dude,
know
if you
what
get that
means.
reference, you're a fucking nerd.
This is why I don't buy the games, Pete. I'm sick of being a stealth archer every time.
What the fuck does that mean?
No, because in a lot of these games, if you go the magic route, you will be very powerful in the end, but it's hard, and you got to eat shit. But
Is
it's
this
more
Dungeons
fun
and
to
Dragons?
just- No, it's not Dungeons and Dragons. It's like your Skyrims of the world.
Skyrim. Okay.
Yeah, it's more
World
fun to
of
sneak
Warcraft.
around and you fucking. Yeah, no one cares. Yeah, you're right. Follow the thread. I'm sorry. It's more interesting in this game, I would say.
I genuinely was trying to figure out what.
Come for the football, stay for the mage and Skyrim talk.
This is the opposite of Robert Mays. I'm with Kevin. What
The other
Just
games
think.
that are good.
Just think we could
First-person
have the
shooters are
fucking
absolutely-
walkthrough out on a Wednesday if Pat wasn't just playing fucking video games all week.
Yeah.
No, Pete, that's what I'm telling you. I don't play video games now. That's
No,
why
it
the
sounds
walkthrough
like you
exists.
You sure know a lot about these video games for not
Yeah.
playing them.
I sure
I'm
do.
still, I mean, I
Google
still
when
play video
Skyrim came
games.
out because it's about 15 years ago.
I will not Google that. That's That's
I play more video
Catfish
games
team
during
there.
the season than off the season because I get done writing and I just I need to just go veg for a little bit. Like my brain needs to not work. So I've been playing the Zelda game. I think I told you guys this a few weeks back, but the Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game.
What are you, fucking nerd?
Yeah. The guy who was just talking about fucking mages and something or other. I don't know what the fuck you were talking about. What are you, a fuking nerd?
This is like, I love how we have big off-season energy right now. This feels like a February, like,
Oh, God, it
19th
is.
shift
It is.
chasing episode.
Yeah.
We're in the heart of the season. That's,
But, I mean-
that's what the Bears and the Panthers have reduced
Right.
to.
Yes.
We don't have Top Shot brain anymore. We have fucking Skyrim Mage brain.
Hey, the chat is with me.
Skyrim.
The chat is with me on Skyrim, dude. Elder Scrolls is legit. You don't know that, but that is also Skyrim. That's a support for Skyrim. Elder Scrolls. Oblivion, because Oblivion was good. Morrowind was the first game. That was a high school game, and that game
These are not words.
doesn't
What'd
even
you say?
age.
Morrowind?
So these games exist in like a gigantic universe that they just made up, and that each game takes place in a country within that universe that is also massive. And then you just like explore the country, and people are like, "Hey, man, there's a dragon over there. You gotta fucking help." And then you're like,
You know what I
I'll
need
get
from
to
Bryce
it.
Young? I need more winning from him.
Is
what
there
I
a
need.
Mordor in this land? Because
No,
I feel like you're describing Middle
it's
Earth.
it's like Tolkien stuff, but it's a different world.
Okay.
Kyle Friends, this man is a millionaire. I know. It doesn't seem great.
It's
does it?
magical Red Dead Redemption is a great take.
It is.
I love
No,
it.
that Red Dead Redemption is the same style of game. It's open world sandbox. You do what you want.
I like Ryan's take. Both Skyrim and the new Zelda are awesome. Pete is the odd man out. Enjoy working out, Pete. Enjoy having a life and doing things to better yourself.
Hope you're doing good with your family.
Hey, guys, we got a new mystery here.
What's that?
Where is this? Is this the Nathan Yankee? Or is this just an imposter? Nathan Yankee.
No, it's a different. There's two different Nathans.
Oh
Is
no,
it
dude!
you?
I think I got
Okay.
Yankee on
Steven!
my side here.
Elon. All right.
No, the other Nathan Yankee has an H. This guy's been in the mentions
Okay,
on
I was going to
Twitter.
say, fucking go back to
Hey,
snap
you know
counts,
what?
dude.
I'm still psyched I got this Nathan Yankee because he's also
Well,
right.
I want to ask him: are you Yankee, not him? Are you Janky? I
That's
want to know
exactly what the real Nathan Yankee, who's supposed to be charting snap counts, would say if he was in our chat. That's exactly what he would say.
But why
Doesn't
would
prove
he?
anything.
Why would he take the H out of his name to disguise
To
himself?
throw us off the scent, but still get the clout.
One letter.
Plausible
Yeah, all right.
deniability when the PFF overlords.
Oh
say,
my
"What
God!
do you
Did they
do?"
not get that on 3rd and 1?
They
They're gonna
didn't.
punt now. They just ran it straight ahead, didn't get it, and are gonna punt because there's no way they're going for it.
You, you can't, dude. This is the Bryce Young tush push right here. Here it comes.
Maybe that's
He's
his
gonna
fault.
punt it.
Maybe he's real
Dude,
good.
he's
How much
gonna
does he
punt it.
swap?
They got their timeouts. There's 5 minutes left. He's gonna punt it.
Dude, look at this guy. No.
Oh, he's
They're
going for it. Oh,
Let's go.
Thank you, Frank Reich.
It's not the Panthers. It's our Panthers.
This is huge. This is
Tush push.
like-
Bryce Young tush push. Push his little tushy. What is
Oh my
this
God!
play?
What? They just
Go,
faked.
Bryce.
Oh my God! That was a disaster.
He almost swerved out of it. He
Right?
almost
Yeah.
swerved out of it.
bad. Right down to
was so
holding the
bad.
ball in his right hand. Why don't you
Oh
switch
my
that forward and reach it across? That was a disaster.
Oh my God. What was this? He had it so easy. And he goes,
Reach the ball across. What are you doing holding it in your right hand? That's a great way to get yourself overturned on review. You might not have got it. Like, that's so bad.
Holy shit!
Everything is fine. It worked. Yeah, I'm with you. Results over process.
Push his
God.
little touchy was so
The
good.
The fake.
Thielen.
and-
No. Fake Thielen.
That was Hayden Hurst.
Listen,
Hayden Hurst.
The fake. He goes for the fake, and Miles Sanders is just gone. He's like on the flats.
I don't know when we're gonna redo the ship chasing intro, but I want Push's little tushy in there. It's gotta make it. It's got to make it.
Play action to a ghost, the chat said. Oh, God.
I'm not gonna allow this. The dude just had his like first catch in 19 weeks. Hey, nerd,
Yeah,
best
dude,
ball.
no.
I
That's
know.
not.
Oh,
Oh!
come on.
Oh.
This is why you can't get excited about Hey Nerds, because the second you build him up, he knocks you right
Yeah,
fucking
dude,
back
there's
down.
no way your best ball team is viable if one catch for 7 yards, that's his whole line on the game, is
The
going to
best
help
part
your
about
best ball
that
picks.
You
the
could
only
have the
reason you
nuts
have
and
Hayden
Hayden Hurst. I mean, it's possible.
If you have any Hayden Hurst, it's because you were drafting the shit out of Bryce Young.
It's true.
There was no other reason to take Hayden Hurst.
No, there was not.
No, Hayden Hurst was the subject of those, like, why take this guy when you can get Hayden Hurst in the last round?
No, not for I he was, but he shouldn't have been. Is more
There he is.
Thielen.
There he is.
So
All right,
that's-
the man
that's
of the hour.
6 right there, right? That's a
6. One more. And Chuba's 4
Oh,
fantasy
Chuba,
points
man.
off.
Okay, that's doable.
I love that Thielen's at 6 for 42
Well, you got-
because
do
I
you guys
made a
wanna order
very
Taco Bell
specific
beforehand?
argument that like this is what his line could be. So I'm glad that it like I didn't sound like an idiot, basically.
So Brittany made chili, and my parents
Sounds
are here,
good.
and her cousin's here, and to have to order Taco Bell and have it arrive and explain why I'm eating Taco Bell instead of her chili,
Yes, yes,
would be quite the bit.
fantastic.
I mean, if Chuba gets there, I almost feel like I just have to.
I mean,
I would much
there's
rather
no
Wow.
have chili.
Is this true?
Oh my god,
way.
18.
No way.
And some
He
there were
did.
there were people on this panel who actually doubted it.
We won't
Well,
name
I-
them. We won't name them.
I mean,
I
the attempts hit first, so I think I was.
mean, the
directly
important
accurate.
thing is there's more Tommy Tremble. God, this guy. Jeez. Racking up the
Did we hit
points.
it? It's okay. Now we did.
No, we did. Oh, we tied it.
So now
That's
we need,
beautiful.
dude. So all we need is DJ Moore in this one. God, overtime, guys, and it could be a fucking Taco Bell bonanza around here.
Oh my
Woo!
god. That's $1,000 for a DJ Moore 13-yard catch. We don't
You
even
can
necessarily
taste the
need
Crunch Wrap
overtime.
Supreme, baby.
We need a score, and ideally it to come from Chuba.
Chuba and OT. Those are the operatives right now.
So a Chuba touchdown or a field goal.
How is
Oh,
Hayden
I thought
Hurst
that
still
was
a thing?
Thielen. Why is he
No,
running
dude.
Thielen's routes?
That was not
4th and 2.
ideal.
4th and
I
2.
don't know, man. I don't trust them. They might punt. They're such cowards.
There's 2 minutes left in the game. It's a 2-minute warning.
I know.
They can't
I'm aware of
punt.
the situation.
That was a great comeback. Great.
Dude, only
I'm aware of the situation.
I don't know if you guys feel similar to me, but there's no other team in football that I'd rather have to count on than the Carolina Panthers in all these 4th down situations. It really
Oh,
makes me
God.
feel great.
It's bad.
Oh, it's so bad. I'm gonna get another beer.
Yeah, I should probably switch off of the whiskey.
If we go to overtime, I'll switch off the whiskey or tequila and go back to a Modelo.
I'm gonna get a beer. I'll be back.
All right, let's check out some of these my fucking co-host dudes. These guys even care about the content. It's like they only care about satisfying their own desires. Chuba 4 points off. Thielen 1 reception off. Same for that first one. DJ Moore. We need 18 more receiving yards. God, this could be overtime. Could just be a boon for us. It could be generational wealth if we get overtime. Dude, a check
I don't know
down,
about that.
generational wealth. Like Gretch is gonna go wake up his daughters who probably haven't gone to bed yet because
They haven't even gone to bed yet. Yeah.
You're gonna go read them a bedtime story and say, "Sweeties, no need to go to college. Generational wealth just came via Chuba Hubbard." That's the bedtime story you're gonna tell them.
I love it.
This is what I like to see. Can't spell Taco Bell without OT, and it took me a second to fact check that, which tells me I've had too much tequila. I was like, "Where's the O?" Oh yeah, and taco.
Why haven't we been using that?
Because you can say that about almost any fucking
Oh,
phone.
no.
They all have OT
no.
in it.
Yep.
Oh no!
No, Paul.
Oh guys!
No. Use first of all, when Sean sends this in, it's for $25. I'm not doing, and this is Canadian. This is probably like
That's not even real money.
Yeah.
7, Paul.
No. 2.
Finally, we agree on something.
Really? Is it 7 for you?
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
he's
a
going to
2.
have an insane.
He's a
advanced
2
range,
because you
but
have to
then
look
fucking
at yourself in the mirror every night.
No, Adam Thielen is going to be a fucking dustball down the stretch, but he got you there.
Yeah, but he got you there.
Oh my God,
Who is
Miles Sanders on
No,
a little
get
in
him
and
out
out.
of here.
whip
We'll take
route.
it, man. We'll take it.
We will. We'll take it, but we can be pissed about it.
That was kind of sick, though. That was a cool little route. Look at this. You want to see some ball knowing? Watch this little. Yeah, the lines on the screen will show you. Ooh, little whip route.
Pretty good route. Pretty good route.
Wasn't really a whip, but it was fun.
He almost dropped it. Did you see that? You see that little?
Yeah, you like let it
Didn't
bounce
quite
off
have
his
it.
chest.
Yeah.
Don't like that. It's all right if Miles Sanders was playing here because when they get down in the red zone, he'll be tired. You bring in Chuba, you get the TD.
Oh my!
Oh, why are you throwing to Hayden Hurst so much?
What yard line are they on?
They're like at the 50.
So we need another first.
Yeah, we need another first for sure.
I don't like this offense in 2nd and 10. I feel more comfortable when they're in 1st and 30. It's just the playbook really shrinks when it's 2nd and 10.
I'll always laugh at your dumbass jokes, dude. You never fucking stop getting me, man. That was good.
Come on.
The delivery.
We need overtime. We all
The
deserve
delivery is perfect. So good.
Chuba's in.
Oh,
flag.
oh! Dive for it.
There is
Shit.
nothing more this Panthers team loves more than 4th and fucking long. God damn it.
4th and long. They're just setting up the 4th and long. Yeah, I mean we all are. It's a disease.
This is where we're all at. Mathology.
What?
Chuba Hubbard's girlfriend, Sarah Moore, is a former college volleyball player from Alberta, Canada. The two have been dating since 2019 and have been going strong ever since.
I'm surprised
I hate
there's
that
not
you
a
wrote
comment
have
on how
been
she
going
looks.
strong.
Mythology. Remember those like that fucking like VH1 show?
They called
where
a
there was, like,
timeout for 3rd and 10. You need those to get the ball back. Now you can't get. You need all 3 timeouts.
They're playing for overtime, and so are we, Gretch.
But they only have
Do you
2
remember on
more
VH1
downs.
when they
You
used to
can't
play
call a
executive-
timeout at 3rd
Yes,
and
this
10.
game's
man.
terrible.
That's
Let me talk about the
insane.
VH1. Do you remember the show where there was, I think it was called Pop-Up Video, and they would play music videos and they would put little facts up on the screen?
Yeah.
That is what mythology is for us.
Yeah, exactly. It's always it's you're like watching the oldie station at my in-laws, and it's like Ringo Starr once ate an ice cream cone with 9 scoops on it. And you're like, oh wow, that's interesting.
That's a lot of scoops.
Oh my god.
God damn.
Can't believe they call a timeout for that. They almost throw a pick.
Yo, that's such a bad throw.
Dude, who is what is the range? What are I might honestly just take a field goal bomb at this point.
I think that's our
Okay,
only.
here we go.
Oh my God!
What is
Well,
this?
how many
a
yards?
59 yarder?
Eddie Pinheiro for 59.
59.
Dude, he nailed
Get
it. Oh, he's
Oh my
way
God.
short.
Not even
So
close.
short. Who said he nailed it?
I
Pat
thought he
did.
nailed it. It
It was
was so
like 40
short.
yards short.
It was
I mean,
dead on.
Lou makes a good point. That wasn't good from 53. My thought was like, if you're going to kick this, then on 3rd and 10 or on 2nd and 10 or something, you should have ran and you should have tried to get into better field goal range. But you're right. It didn't matter because it wasn't even good from 3rd and 53.
Oh, my depth perception
almost
was
hit the
really
ref.
bad there.
And the ref didn't even blink. It was so short.
It was so short. Oh, God.
Let's chase some fucking kickers. Nailed it.
I wanted him to make it, man. That's what it was. Holy shit. Oh, it was a little short.
Stretch,
In
at least we still
retrospect,
have
he
those
didn't nail it.
timeouts, right?
Yeah. Good Lord.
Whew.
Mm.
Wow.
The best is I thought for a split second Pat was like 2 seconds ahead of me, and he actually nailed it. And as Pat was saying it, I'm watching the ball just fucking die in the air. I'm like, really? This thing must just barely fucking crest the goalposts.
I thought there was so much more power behind that kick than there was. Oh, God.
Oh.
Man. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, dude.
This is so frustrating. I mean, it's, oh man. 126, you really badly need this 3rd timeout to potentially get into another field goal situation. Now you're going to be in a way worse spot. This drive.
How
was-
point
would
out,
Bryce
though,
Young
guys-
know which defender to throw it to? If he
Guys,
hadn't
can I
taken that
point
timeout?
out we have an actual sweat for $1,000. We need DJ Moore to get 20 more receiving yards.
It's
Yeah, but
not
that
a
can't
sweat
happen
unless they
on
get the
this
field
drive.
goal.
Yeah,
We need
that's not a sweat.
Carolina to get the field goal.
Just hear me out. Terrace Marshall lower, Adam Thielen higher, Bryce Young higher, Chuba higher. If DJ Moore gets
We should have done a Bears under on that and lower. That was just terrible. I wanted more
DJ Moore screen pass to the house, dude. Top of the screen.
98 yards.
Manifest
to
it.
the
We need
fucking
to
house.
get. We need the Panthers
Against
to get the ball back.
Carolina in week 10. 98 yards to the fucking house
There he
against
is.
Carolina in week 10.
Find him.
No, dude, we don't want the first down. That's we lose.
Well,
Oh,
I
that's
wanted
game.
it to DJ Moore.
That was the game.
Our only hope was a Thielen catch and like 3 garbage time Chuba yards or whatever. Chuba
Does the Ronald Jones song go against Carolina in week 10? Isn't this against Carolina in week 10?
Yeah,
We'll find out because it'll be
98
our-
yards to the fucking
still a
house against
walk-off.
Carolina in week 10.
In week 10. Yeah. Wow.
All right, in honor of this terrible game, let's at least celebrate when Carolina in week 10 was fun.
I'm not happy. No Taco Bell for anyone.
No one gets.
You know what
Taco
though?
Bell.
We kept all of our positions smaller this week. So
Pat doesn't have to explain to his family that he ordered Taco Bell when his wife slaved over chili all day.
like while they're here, like she made chili literally in a crock pot all day, and then I ordered Taco Bell. That is incredibly rude. Like just so
I don't know
deeply
why.
rude.
But I was just thinking it'd be hilarious if you ordered a bunch of bean and cheese burritos and like scraped the bean and cheese into a bowl and discarded the tortillas in solidarity with everyone else eating just the chili. Right here with you guys. Sure is delicious.
Man, wish I could eat that chili. That looks better. Gotta ring the bell.
Oh my God. The Bears can't even execute kneel downs. They're getting false starts on kneel downs.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Oh fuck.
Oh God.
Ugh.
We bet actual dollars on this football game. Real money.
Apology. No reports of Rojo in a relationship.
It's nice to have someone still working 3 hours
It
into
is.
this game. Yeah, Pat's really the one down bad. Got to go hang out with his family after this. Luckily for some of us, our family has been asleep for the past 3 hours. All right. Any final words?
No.
No.
All right. Can I find the right Rojo clip? There's like 19 in here. There's a LaVisca. There's the Rojo.
We need Pat's song about Rojo is what we need.
Yeah, actually, I should try to find
That's
that
probably
one.
in your. That's probably in the randomizer thing, right?
Is it? Yeah, let me go look. Is it over here? LaVisca Hyperreal Red Zone Randomizer intro. No.
I cashed $2 after the kneel down. At least somebody won something, man.
If
Enjoy
everyone
that.
just holds on for 1 sec, I'll upload the clip.
PL02PL is not going to be able to afford a Crunchwrap Supreme, but enjoy that cheesy roll up. Those $2. I believe it's
I only have it in vertical, but this is how we're going out. Let me get this.
Oh yeah,
uploaded.
let's do it. Thanks for hanging out in the worst game ever.
Yeah. 1 sec. Don't say bye yet. It's gonna take about another 15 seconds to upload. This is how the sausage gets made.
It's been real. It's gonna be a
No,
good
it's
walk
been
off.
great. Yeah, check
David
out.
Bell clip says the guy who did the David Bell clip. It has no reason to be played right now, but Kevin's like, I made that clip. I want you to talk about it.
All right.
Well
Come
done.
on, process. Trust the processing. All right, Pat must grab his guitar and play an original song and sing about why Rojo is such a great RB. A little ode to Ronald Jones.
Rojo, we know you're getting cut, but don't let that shut the door. You still got that rushing floor. Haters, oh, they're gonna hate, but we'll never forget when you went for 98.